on a chilly 41-degree day in Foxborough. We're getting ready for the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. Drew Bledsoe having a career season, looking to lead his Patriots to a record of 10-4 to clinch a playoff berth and cement virtually every tie-breaking scenario. For the Jets, a far different story, with one-time Boston College star Glenn Foley making his first NFL start, hoping to salvage something out of a disastrous season. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Sam Weish. And Sam, this a matchup of two teams that are dramatically headed in opposite directions. The Patriots, sparked by Drew Bledsoe, have won 6 of the last 7, 9 of their last 11 games.
And early in the year, Bill Parcells said this was a critical year for his streaky quarterback. Well, he's certainly become more consistent. 4 of his last 6 games, he's completed 70% of his passes or better. 9 interceptions this year. Just 2 years ago, he threw 27 interceptions. And he's coming off a game against San Diego where his quarterback rating was 136. That'll lead the league every year. Those are playoff numbers.
And for the Jets, in a week that saw several of their players stating publicly that they felt they quit in the game against Houston last week, enter Glenn Foley, the product of Boston College, making his first NFL start.
I asked Drew Bledsoe what advice he'd give Foley, and he said, just be patient. Not everything's going to go right today. The good news to Foley is that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder if something doesn't go right, because he's the quarterback for the next 3 weeks, according to Rich Kotite. And we'll find out today if patience is the answer for the New York Jets.
As for the weather here in Foxborough, no rain, no snow in the forecast. The field not in wonderful shape, although cosmetic repairs are being attempted. Let's get to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, gentlemen, welcome everyone. Let's get you caught up on the scores of the early games, and we'll begin in Green Bay, where the Packers are beating the Denver Broncos and beating them decisively, 41-6. Brett Favre reading the blitz here, throws to Antonio Freeman, shakes loose from Torrey James, races for a 51-yard touchdown, the second of his 3 touchdowns on the day. John Elway did not play in this game. The Green Bay Packers claim the NFC Central Division Championship. They're leading it 41-6. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers are the champions of the AFC Central. They have beaten the San Diego Chargers today 16-3. In Miami, the New York Giants knocked off the Dolphins today 17-7, the final score. Dave Brown with a touchdown pass to Howard Cross, Rodney Hampton 5 yards for a TD for New York. In Houston, the Oilers hosting the Jaguars, falling to Jacksonville 23-17. Eddie George, 141 yards rushing last week against the Jets. Only 15 in the first half today, but it was a big day for Natron Means. After a Steve McNair interception, Means finds a hole, barrels in from the 5, his second touchdown of the day. Jacksonville goes to 7-7 with the victory. In Tampa, the Bucs knock off the Washington Redskins 24-10. In Chicago, the Bears trouncing the St. Louis Rams 35-9. In Cincinnati, a last-second try at the goal line by the Ravens fails, and the Bengals win 21-14, and Atlanta all over the New Orleans Saints 31-15. We'll send you to the kickoffs in Foxborough and Seattle right after this.
Although the New England area is wild about its Patriots, as always, Bill Parcells very cautious in his excitement, but he is very pleased, and you get the idea, very happy about the way things are going from the coaching point of view. Not the case earlier in the season. Patriots won the toss and will receive. The kickoff specialist for the Jets, Don Silvestri, kicking away to the combination of Troy Brown and Dave Meggett. The Jets at 1-12, breaking it down. They've lost 4 straight, 12 of their last 13. And this is Brown up across the 20. Ran it to his own man and is taken down short of the 25-yard line. A 15-yard return. Bobby Hamilton involved on the stop. And here's Drew Bledsoe and the Patriot offense stepping on. And a look at that offensive line. Todd Rucci remains in at right guard, although we may see Bob Cratch later on coming back from the knee problem and pneumonia. Curtis Martin, Sam Gash are the running backs. The receivers, Jefferson, Glenn, and Coates. Glenn with 67 receptions. Now a change as Meggett opens up in the backfield. And the Patriots start out from their 24-yard line. And Bledsoe whipping it and completing. Sean Jefferson for the first down. Victor Green, who had 17 total tackles last week against Houston, made the stop, but this one is good for 15.
And they lined up Keith Byers wide to the right, straight drop back pass, and inside you see right here Sean Jefferson. Now he's not the wide receiver. The widest receiver is actually a running back in Keith Byers. That means that the Jets took their safety out. Victor Green, a little bit of a confusion inside, wide open on the zone.
And a first down at the 39-yard line. And again Bledsoe tossing and looping it downfield for Jefferson. So Bledsoe opens up 2 for 2 with Jefferson. This one a 30-yard pickup. The tackle made by the right corner, Marcus Coleman.
One-on-one coverage right down the middle. There's no free safety in the middle right here. Just out jumping at the very end. Sean Jefferson, first 2 plays of the game, 2 completions. That's the start of a big day. And we know one thing, Drew Bledsoe will throw the ball to every receiver he's got out there today. He's completed touchdowns to 8 different receivers this season.
And now Sam Curtis Martin and Sam Gash do check in. And apparently an official timeout. The Patriots were at the line. And we'll resume in just a moment. A minute and a half gone by in this first quarter. And a quick start by Bledsoe in contrast to what took place in that earlier meeting against the Jets at the Meadowlands 4 weeks ago, where he had problems and the Jets jumped in front 21-0. And now here's Bledsoe again throwing the deep ball, and it's broken up. Marcus Coleman, the right corner, with the coverage on the rookie from Ohio State, Terry Glenn.
Terry Glenn is having one of those special years for a rookie. Marcus Coleman beat badly last week for a touchdown. They were going to go after him on a little token fake, going straight down the field.
And there is Marcus Coleman, the rookie from Texas Tech, as we check out the Jets' defensive alignment. Up front, Hamilton, Washington, Brock, and Douglas. Matt Brock, one of several Jets to speak out about what he felt was a quitting effort last week against Houston. Now the inside handoff to Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin having another terrific season. Number 5 in rushing in the AFC. Headed for the 1,000-yard mark once again. Marvin Jones, the middle linebacker, made the stop. And it's a pickup of 2, a third down and 8. Curtis leading the AFC in total touchdowns with 16. 958 yards coming in. Bledsoe getting the time, going sideline, and it is incomplete. Intended for Vincent Brisby, who is back in the lineup. Only his second game. He faced Denver 3 weeks ago. He's been bothered by a pulled hamstring.
See, Brisby's going up against Aaron Glenn. He just got a break to the outside. Rather than a square out move, he turns in and then slides back to the outside. The Jets came that time with only 3 rushers, and they dropped everybody back in protection. And what happens when you get everybody back like that, if you don't get underneath it, you're going to have those throws to the out, but the ball was just thrown a little too wide.
So on a 4th and 8, this is a 48-yard field goal attempt by Adam Vinatieri, who after the slow start has really come on. And now instead a change, looking to surprise the Jets, and he was able to punt it inside the 5-yard line. Well, Bill Parcells passing up on the long attempt, a 48-yard field goal. Instead, Vinatieri with a pooch punt for 27 yards, and it means the Jets will have to start out from inside their 3-yard line. We'll be back after these words. A look at Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College up in Chestnut Hill, the former home of Glenn Foley, who is the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. And Foley on the first play gives it to Adrian Morrell. As we check out the Jet front line, Jumbo Elliott, who is matched up with Willie McGinnis. Bill Parcells feels that is the key as far as they're concerned defensively. Foley the quarterback, Morrell having a terrific season with Anderson at the running back positions. Keyshawn Johnson, Wayne Corbett, and Kyle Brady are the receivers. Jeff Graham has had an outstanding season, sitting out with turf toe, and Morrell is stopped. Adrian Morrell tried the right side and was shut down. A look at the New England front four. Ferret Colin starting once again instead of Mike Jones at left defensive end. Willie McGinnis coming off a terrific game last week against San Diego. In fact, voted the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Sav Johnson and Collins are the linebackers. Collins for the injured Monty Brown. Otis Smith, the one change, starting at right corner for Ricky Reynolds, who's been hobbled with an ankle problem. You see the flags come flying. The referee today is Tom White. And here's the call. Well, first they will discuss it.
Absolutely. You've got to discuss every call. But really what happened was that Mike Jones moved. David Williams reacted. Now they're going to call it as a defensive or an offensive foul because both people were moving. Jones was in the neutral zone when the movement took place on offense.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 96, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, the call against Mike Jones.
You see Mike Jones right here. He's going to move early. Now, if he causes movement because the left guard, Galbraith, thought he would be rushing that quarterback, then that's allowed and is called against the defense.
It is a 3rd and 2. The Jets at their 11-yard line. Pinned back on that surprise punt by Vinatieri, and Foley able to complete his first pass to Webster Slaughter, and he has a first down. Scooter Magruder on the stop. It is a pickup of 7. Webster Slaughter, who returned last week after missing 6 games with a pulled hamstring, able to make the catch. Glenn Foley, born in Woburn, Massachusetts, grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. At Boston College, known as a big game player. Fans in this area remember him leading BC to that stunning upset over Notre Dame. And Foley off the roll and decides to throw it away.
As we mentioned earlier, this is his first NFL start. Now, he played against the Patriots a year ago in the Meadowlands, and of course he finished the game last week. But this is the first time he started a football game in the NFL, and I know what that feels like. Everything's happening faster than it should. Everything's a little bit gray. Nothing is absolutely clear. And on top of that, we're playing at 4 o'clock. In about 30 minutes, it's going to be dark out here. It's going to be like a preseason night game.
And Glenn Foley does not have pleasant memories from that last appearance last year against the Patriots, suffering the dislocated shoulder. The throwing shoulder was injured as he was hit by Aaron Jones. Here's Morrell. Trying to get going and cannot. Pio Songapulatelli on the stop of Adrian Morrell. Bill Parcells telling us, and this is that time of the year where they vote for the Pro Bowl, that one of his votes went in the direction of Adrian Morrell. He has great respect for this running back.
Adrian Morrell, Tony Martin, and Terrell Davis were the 3 people he said belong in that Pro Bowl. Of course, facing one of them right here today, this wasn't any kind of a compliment because of the game. He really believes that.
In effect, he wouldn't do something that you would have said you did to try and soften up a play.
I'll explain that comment in a minute.
A 3rd down and 9, and it is picked off. Foley intercepted by Jerome Henderson. The pass intended for the rookie Alex Van Dyke.
Van Dyke, you see right here. Henderson is in for he's a nickel back. In other words, he only plays in 3rd down passing situations. He just anticipates the move. Anytime you make a break that far in front of a defender, and Van Dyke was a good 6 yards in front of the defender, he's got plenty of time to break on the ball. Sharply thrown, really in pretty good position for the catch, but just good anticipation by Jerome Henderson.
It is another Jet turnover. It gives the Patriots the ball 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line, and Curtis Martin with just a short pickup.
You know, we're talking about the voting, which is Monday or next week for the Pro Bowl. There are a lot of teams around the league that if they've got a player they think is going to be close to making the Pro Bowl, will vote for a player that maybe has no chance. Therefore, the percentage-wise gives their guy a better chance to get into the Pro Bowl. I personally never did that.
I can understand that, Sam, knowing you the way I do.
And I'll never do it again either.
Jerome Henderson with a 2nd interception of the season to set up this Patriot drive, a 2nd down and 7. Bledsoe had the time and able to complete to Martin. And he has a first down inside the 15. Marvin Washington on the tackle.
Just a little layoff pass, straight drop back. Let everybody come up the field a little bit. As you can see right here, that Martin is going to step up inside the tackle's block. They try to cut the tackle, lay it out there quick. Inside receivers, Dave Wallabuzz or linemen are out there trying to throw a block down the field after the catch. They can go downfield after the throw, but not before.
Curtis Martin had a big day receiving against the Jets 4 weeks ago. And now it's to the ground. And Martin, breaking tackles, gets inside the 10, taken down by Victor Green. The New England Patriots with a chance for a first-round bye and a second-round home playoff game if things continue along the same kind of trail that they have been carving for themselves.
You saw right there that just a clean miss by Matt Brock, who had some rather outspoken things to say last week about players. That was good effort, but he missed the time.
And a second down and 4. Acceleration by Gash, a rare carry by Sam Gash. Several Jets trying to knock the ball loose. Sam Gash has had an excellent season as a blocker and as a pass catcher. 31 receptions for Gash in his 5th year out of Penn State.
That's all it takes to play fullback for Bill Parcells. If you can catch and you can block, you can play fullback for him. That would leave you out, Marv.
Yes, in many ways.
In both categories.
A 3rd and 3. Getting back to the subject of Matt Brock, one of several players who said that there were Jets who just stopped playing last week in the game against Houston. A big hole for Dave Meggett, but he is short of the first down. We touched on this on the pregame show earlier. How do you react to that, Sam? And how do you react to a player coming out and making that statement?
Well, there could be a lot of things. Frustration is absolutely there. He may be observing something in that locker room and in meetings and on the practice field, kind of not behind the coach's back, but away from the coach. He's really closer to the way the players feel than the coach is in many ways. It's disturbing to hear a player say that because he has no reason to say it unless he really believes it.
This is a 4th and about 1.5 yards. And you can hear the crowd reaction. Obviously, they want the Patriots to go for the 6. They are, well, they're measuring it.
Bill Parcells certainly is not afraid to go for the first down on a 4th down situation, in a 4th down situation, especially down here close. My guess is he'll go for it. Since I saw him wave his card,
good.
So I'd make that wild guess.
One of the key factors in that earlier game with the Jets, a favorable spot that went the Patriot way.
Yeah, but you know, and talking to some of the Patriots, they kind of acknowledge this, that if you lose the game, you bring that up as being something that really costs you. If you win the game, it's just part of the evening out process. You win a few, you lose a few. And although the Jets do not complain about that, I didn't hear them mention it in our interviews.
You'd have the feeling if you follow the Jets that somehow it would have slipped by anyway.
That's right. The way this year's gone.
Our 4th down play, and Martin slices his way for the first down. It sets up a 1st and goal. Marvin Jones on the tackle.
And they went right off the left side, right at Bruce Armstrong. Their strength in the offensive line, or one of their strengths in the offensive line. And of course, you see Martin right there. He really has lost his footing. This is not going to be an easy day from the standpoint of cutbacks or when you've got to make a sharp break. There was a snowstorm yesterday. The water on the field or the snow's melted. It's soft.
1st and goal from the 3. The Patriots have been excellent inside the red zone. Play action. Bledsoe throwing. Touchdown. The diving catch by Ben Coates. Ben Coates with his 8th touchdown reception of the season for Drew Bledsoe, his 25th touchdown pass.
In total, that is the 21st touchdown that Ben Coates has caught in his career from Drew Bledsoe. And used to be that's the only guy I look for. He's spreading it around now, though.
And here's Adam Vinatieri with Tom Tupa to put it down. 5 5:43 remaining in the first quarter. It's the Patriots 7, the Jets nothing.
This is the NFL on NBC.
Back in Foxborough, the Patriots with a 7-0 lead on the Jets. Ben Coates on a 2-yard touchdown pass play, 7 plays, 26 yards, took 3:56, and it turns out that the punt that surprised the Jets, the punt by the place kicker Vinatieri, pinned the Jets back and led to the interception, which led to the great field position and the touchdown. Here's the kick by Vinatieri, and it's played by Van Dyke. Alex Van Dyke is hit down. Excellent coverage. The Patriot special teams doing a tremendous job. Larry Wiggum, one of the stars of that unit, on the tackle. Marv Albert with Sam Weish back in Foxborough. The Jets from their 25-yard line with Glenn Foley out of Boston College in his first NFL start at quarterback for the Jets. And again, the handoff to Morrell, trying to break wide. The Patriots continue to do a good job on Adrian Morrell, who last week ran for 128 yards against the Houston Oilers, this time forced out by Dwayne Sabb. Adrian Morrell comes in just 227 yards away from the Jets' season rushing record. Trying to catch Freeman McNeil, who went for 1,331 yards back in the '85 season.
You'd have to have a very strong finish for Bill Parcells' vote to be enough to kick him into their Pro Bowl. A lot of competition running back this year.
2nd and 9 at the 26. And Foley airs it out along the sideline, but not able to connect. Double coverage on Wayne Krebet. Willie Clay and Ty Law not allowing Krebet to free himself up. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel back in New York.
All right, Marv, good news early on for Patriots fans in Seattle. Rick Meyer from 27 yards out to Joey Galloway flying down the sideline into the end zone. And the Seahawks with a 7-0 first quarter lead on Buffalo. Marv.
Thank you, Greg. Buffalo coming off the overtime defeat to the Indianapolis Colts last week. 3rd down and 9 for the Jets from their 26-yard line. The Patriots 7 and the Jets nothing. Foley dancing around, could not find anyone, and down he goes. Teddy Bruschi, who has come up with a number of big plays. 3rd-round draft pick out of Arizona, who began the season primarily as a special teams guy, but he's being used in spot duty, has come up with his 4th sack of the season.
And Teddy Bruschi, along with Chris Slade on 3rd downs, will line up in a three-point stance, and they'll rush. They'll be part of the 4 down linemen rushing the passer. That time it was good for a sack.
So Brian Hansen, a one-time Patriot, back to punt from the 5. Dave Meggett comes up 4, takes it to 44, muffs it, and has to cover up. That time Meggett just concerned about maintaining possession. A 37-yard punt by Hansen. And New England gets it back with 4:36 left in the first. It appeared that Dave Meggett, in looking to recover the muff, may have hurt his wrist right here as he took the hit from John Hudson. And he's trying to shake it off on the sideline. Patriots 1st and 10. And Bledsoe throwing to the outside, looking for Byers, not able to connect.
A lot of play action on 1st down. This is the kind of a feel that you'd expect to see a lot of the running game and a lot of straight ahead running game. You're not going to cut back. Reverse field is good, though. Some reverses. We should see that before the day's over with.
2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line. For the New England Patriots, it is their regular season home finale. They are hoping to host a playoff game here, a divisional playoff game if all goes well the rest of the way. Bledsoe in trouble, and he's taken down back at the 40-yard line. So Bledsoe sacked by the left defensive end, Bobby Hamilton, first-year player from Southern Mississippi.
Again, play action. They're still selling the run. All that does is try to hold the linebackers out of position a little bit. but nothing's happening fast because of the upfield rush. The Jets that time played the pass. They were coming hard up the field. They weren't playing the run. Forced Bledsoe back up into the pocket. Hamilton was there for the sack.
You can see the effects of the sloppy field on the uniform of the players. Dave Meggett is back. It's a 3rd and 13. And the pass for Meggett. And Meggett able to work his way close to the first down. He's just shy. Chad Cascadden on the stop.
The Jets actually read the screen. No one really came after Bledsoe. They all, as you watch him set up here, look at all the linemen. Everybody kind of sees it, and they all stop. And they're chasing the screen, so the play was there. Marvin Jones, right in position, just slipped on the turf, just short of the first down. He looks from the spot. They're going to measure it, I guess. When you run the screen play outside, the running back runs off of the blockers. In other words, the blockers aren't trying to hit a man and knock him left or right. The running back just watches which way he goes and tries to run the other way.
Dave Meggett spent 6 years as a member of the Giants. Part of that time with Bill Parcells. You can see they are just short of the first down. For Meggett, his 2nd year as a New England Patriot.
They're going to go for it. This is one of Bill Parcells' trademarks. His 4th down situations don't scare him.
Well, earlier he passed up a 48-yard field goal. Went for the pooch punt. That certainly paid off. It gave the Patriots the excellent field position. On a 4th and 1 earlier, Curtis Martin picked up 3 on the play. Now has a 4th and less than a yard, and it is a sneak attempt, and they pick it up. Bledsoe surging. Actually, it took a 2nd effort by Bledsoe, and he got across on the right side.
You know, the defensive line is going to pinch. You see him right in here real hard. They're going to pinch right at the quarterback position on either side of the center. Many times the hole is just off to the side on that 2nd effort because everybody's pinched down hard inside. They're really 3 for 3 on 4th down because the pooch was a positive play for them, backing up a young quarterback around the 5-yard line.
You know, I enjoy the way you say pooch.
Thank you.
I just realized
it scares me that you do.
It's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And now Bledsoe throws sideline. He had a wide open Sean Jefferson.
Sean Jefferson caught the first 2 passes on the first 2 plays of the game, coming right back to him. And you're going to see on a soft field like this that the coverage has to be a little bit softer. They got to give you a little bit more room because there's a chance you're going to fall down at any time. And just at the end of this, you're going to see how far open he is. The ball is just off target.
Marcus Coleman in the area attempting the coverage. Jim Vaccarella, the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. It has been a very rough season. Very tough last couple of weeks. Jets have been outscored 70-20 the last 2 weeks. Off the pitch, Martin. Curtis Martin hauled down by the strong safety Victor Green. We're down to 2:45 remaining in this opening quarter. 7-0. Patriots on top on the 2-yard touchdown pass from Bledsoe to Coates. Bledsoe right now has a 3rd and 3.
You know, Victor Green led the Jets in tackles last week, and you don't like to see your safeties leading by wide margins, although he did last week. That means that there are a lot of people breaking through that front line. We're going to be watching to see if the Jets quit or don't quit today. So far, they have not quit.
Can you tell?
You'll be able to tell.
I know you have that eye for such matters. Martin with a nice 2nd effort and is able to pick up the first down. Victor Green made the stop. And you mentioned earlier, though, it's a fine line between trying to determine whether a player quits or loses the competitive edge. I don't know how you really can tell.
Well, I tell you, I don't think players really know sometimes. You see the play that we just, Martin going off the left side right there, but I don't think players really know sometimes that they have given into the competition, and that's quitting. Sometimes they just lose that edge because they're discouraged.
Rich Kotite, who in the past has held back in criticizing his team, did come out and acknowledge that he felt that was the case, though. They quit as Bledsoe fires. Touchdown! No, he's out of the end zone. Terry Glenn caught it out of the end zone.
Officials right on it, but that was an effort by a rookie wide receiver to try to get both feet in right at the end of the play. Just didn't quite get it there. The ball was a little bit too far out in front of him. Right down the middle over the free safety. See if we can tell if he gets them in. He's got possession, 1 foot. Second foot does not come down. That's why those officials are standing right on the line. I don't want to say anything nice about officials. You get mad at me. But they do a good job.
You know, it's amazing how you try to turn it on me. 2nd and 10. Play action. And Bledsoe with the pass to Coates for the first down and some more. And once again, it is Victor Green coming up with the tackle.
You know, Mark, we were talking about how you watch whether a team is really into the game. I don't want to use that Q word again for a moment here. But if you see at the end of a play a lot of white shirts, that means a lot of defensive players in pursuit of the play. You're going to see here's Coach wide open in the middle, zone defense. Now let's watch the end of it as it frames out how many white shirts we see. And there's 3 people on the and around the tackler. That's guys still hustling to the ball. If we get down the road here and there's only 1 guy in the frame at the end of it, it means everybody else is not pursuing like they were. That means they're giving in a little bit.
And Victor Green is shaken up. It was a 16-yard pass play to Coates. The 10th play of the drive is coming up. How about Victor Green already here in the first quarter? 8 tackles, 5 unassisted, 3 assisted. So here's the strong safety, Victor Green, doing it once again. You can experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League, for all of the tackles and touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard. You can click on NFL.com. 1:08 remaining in this opening quarter. The Patriots with a 7-0 lead on the Jets, and the Patriots are threatening once again. When we resume, it is a first down at the 15 in Jet territory. And a look at some of the early games. Green Bay over Denver. John Elway sitting out. Bill Musgrave, the quarterback today. Pittsburgh knocks off San Diego. So the Steelers are 10-4. The Giants winning in Miami. And the Dolphins drop to 6-8 in Jimmy Johnson's first season. Jacksonville beats Houston. So the Jaguars at 7-7. How about your old club, the Buccaneers, knocking off the Redskins? So they've come on recently. Chicago beat St. Louis 35-9. These are final scores. Cincinnati by 7 over Baltimore. Carl Pickens, another big day. And Atlanta 31 over New Orleans 15. These are the later games. Seattle now 10-0 over Buffalo, which is good news for New England. It is Carolina in front of San Francisco 10-0. Arizona 3-zip over Dallas. New England will play at Dallas next week. Now we're set. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Patriots with double tight ends with Coates and Byers. Play action. Bledsoe able to complete. Sideline pattern. Sam Gash with the catch and taken out by the free safety, Gary Jones.
And I think the theory of most coaches is that when you have a slow field or a sloppy field, and this was a little bit sloppy, that you're better off throwing the ball because you don't have as much pass rush. They just can't get their feet dug in to get up the field and rush the passer, so the passer has a little more time. The coverage is a little bit softer because the defensive players don't want to run the risk of slipping down.
An amazing stat passed on by Mr. Stats, Elliot Cal. Patriots have run 20 plays. Victor Green, who was shaken up a moment ago, and we'll have a report on him momentarily. Green with 8 tackles in those 20 plays. 2nd and 1, and that was a quick hit up the middle by Sam Gash, and Victor Green is back on the field. Mark Spindler making that tackle. Let's see where they spot it.
And again, you see what I mentioned earlier, a lot of white shirts around that ball. They anticipated the play correctly, filled the hole, but made the hit. They're playing hard as we finish this first quarter.
It will be a 3rd and 1. Patriots are hearing it from the crowd. After 1, they lead 7-0. Those are not happy numbers for Jets head coach Rich Kotite. Dominance by the Patriots in the first quarter. And certainly the speculation continues concerning Rich Kotite's coaching future with the Jets. Since taking over as head coach, he has won 4 and lost 25. The 3-13 season a year ago and 1-12 this year, going back to his days with the Philadelphia Eagles. 32 losses the last 36 games. Third down and 1 off the pitch. Martin inside the 5 and has a first down. A first and goal. What a block by Sam Gash.
Lead block by Keith Byers, and then the big block by Sam Gash on the toss outside. Everybody packed inside, expecting the run. They've swear they've been going with the ball, and they pitched the ball outside this time. Curtis Martin is going to follow his man. Now there's Sam Gash right there. He's just going to watch what he's doing, break off of that block, make one great individual effort at the end right there to make sure of the first down and first and goal.
It is a first and goal at the 2-yard line. And usually the ball goes to Curtis Martin. This time he's driven back. Ran it to Bobby Hamilton. Curtis Martin with 16 touchdowns in all to lead the AFC. 13 have come on the ground.
He's one of those Pro Bowl type players. This league this year has a lot of players that are having special years that really merit that kind of recognition. Of course, all of them aren't going to get into the Pro Bowl. You know, there's a difference between the Pro Bowl voted on by the players and coaches and the All-Pro team, which is a different vote. Couldn't make one or the other.
This is the 14th play of the drive. Running start for Martin, but he is stopped. Stopped by Gary Jones. Sam, can you run down those differences between the Pro Bowl voting and the All-Pro?
No, not right now. I'd rather not. Thanks a lot for calling me on that. Gary Jones, just ignoring Marv for a moment. Gary Jones, another safety. This time it's the free safety, not Victor Green, the strong safety, but he's coming in on a design play. His gap was that particular hole, and he's come full speed. He didn't have any pass coverage on that one.
It'll be a third and goal at the 2, and a timeout has been called. So we'll take a break. When we come back, Sam will demonstrate the difference in the look of the ballots between those two voting organizations.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Transamerica, the power of the pyramid is working for you. By 1-800-CALL-ATT, dial it for collect calls and save money every time you use it. And by DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
Welcome back to Foxborough. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. You see the great success the Patriots have had in the red zone inside the 20-yard line. And here is Bledsoe almost adding to that number. Sean Jefferson with the bobble and could not hang on.
And that's how they line up on the 2-yard line with a conventional set. 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers, and then split the tight end, Ben Coates, out wide and tried to throw the little fade. This is a pass that is a timed throw. The ball should be thrown right in the corner. Actually, when you practice this, the quarterback tries to hit the pylon in the back corner. If it's incomplete, it should go right to the pylon. That one should have been complete.
And a 20-yard field goal attempt for Adam Vinatieri, who is 22 of 30 for the season. And this one is right through. Vinatieri, the rookie from South Dakota State, who has turned it in recent weeks, provides the Patriots with a 10-0 lead. New England with a 10-0 lead on the Jets as Adam Vinatieri gets set to kick it off to the combination of Alex Van Dyke and Reggie Cobb. It is taken by Cobb. Out across the 15. Nice move at the 20. And again a good move. Works his way across the 35-yard line. A good return by Cobb, but a penalty marker is thrown. 34-yard return by the 6-year man from Tennessee, Reggie Cobb.
Reggie played for me at Tampa Bay. He never returned kickoffs like that, but you can see in that kind of an effort, and I hate to keep bringing up the fact that we're trying to measure whether a team is letting up or not, but since they have claimed to have done it last week, we'll look.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Number 58, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that is Aubrey Beavers called for the penalty. Aubrey Beavers making some news the other day as John Elliott, his teammate, during practice took a swing at him.
You know, that's not all bad. I think all coaches go through fisticuffs during practice, it means that you're having a competitive practice most of the time.
Sam coming out for violence during practice sessions.
I have no can we get along? Can we just try that?
And off the first down play, Glenn Foley taken down by Sagapuratelli. And that is the second sack on Foley. It'll be a second down and 12.
Talking to Bill Parcells yesterday, I asked him what the keys to the game were. And one of them was, of course, to get ahead early. Well, everybody likes that one. Field position is important. And part of the reason field position and being ahead is that when you got a young quarterback, you put him in a tough spot where he's got to make plays and you get the rush on him like this.
Second and 12 from the 18-yard line. And here's Foley with a second completion, finding Keyshawn Johnson, who was stopped by the one-time Jet Otis Smith. Keyshawn Johnson has been requesting of offensive coordinator Ron Earhart to get the ball to him earlier. That's not the only thing he's been saying as of late. He came out yesterday with statements that the Jets' negativity on and off the field has actually given him regrets about joining the franchise, indicating he can't wait to for the season to end, which is understandable when you're 1-12, but he can't wait to head back to the West Coast. Third down and 5, and the completion to Webster Slaughter. But still, if you're a teammate of Keyshawn Johnson, not the kind of encouraging words that you're looking to hear.
And as a coach anywhere, whether you're on the Jets staff or not, you don't like to hear those kind of comments from players because they're selfish statements. Those are statements that are kind of centered around the fact that he's not getting the ball enough and that he loses interest early in the game if he doesn't get the ball. I mean, I can remember Paul Warfield back when the Miami Dolphins went 14-0. He caught 29 passes. He wasn't complaining. The team was winning.
It is a first down at the 41-yard line. And Morrell on a sweep. Able to break the tackle. And Morrell, with a good run, has a first down run out by the free safety, Willie Clay, and that's good for 18 yards.
And that's what the New York Jets need today. They need to take the pressure off of Glenn Foley. Even though they're behind, they don't have to catch up in this half or this quarter. Just a straight side. You see, everybody's walled off right here. Let the running back that is as good as anybody in the league right now running the football, let him have it.
23 yards on 5 carries for Morrell. First down at the 42-yard line. Patriots 10 and the Jets nothing. We're early second quarter. And the pass incomplete. Took a hop. It was scooped up by Keyshawn Johnson. Sam, you've had experiences with players like Keyshawn Johnson, who just loves to talk, and I think it's more of a situation where he just doesn't know how to say no when somebody comes up with a pen and pencil or a microphone, and he gives you whatever is on his mind, and it has obviously stirred things up this season.
Well, you know what it does is it makes a young player like that who doesn't understand the ramifications of what he says. It makes him look bad. It makes him come across as a player who is not as much of a team player as he should be. This is a good football player, and he'll learn over time.
Johnson in motion for the second down and 10. The give to Morrell, and he is stopped in his tracks. Stopped by Todd Collins. Collins playing for the injured Monty Brown, starting at strong side linebacker. Brown out for the season with that Achilles tendon injury.
Straight drop back, and they give it off on the draw play. Now, the draw is simply a comment to the defense saying that you think we're going to throw the football, and that you're going to be in a pass rushing mode, and we're going to hand the ball off late and let you run by a lot of the run by the ball carrier. The Patriots were waiting for the draw and the screen, a quick throw, an easy throw for the quarterback. Now they got him in a tough spot, 3rd and 8.
5 minutes gone by in the second. And Foley completes to Johnson, and he has the first down. Great hands by the rookie from the University of Southern California, Keyshawn Johnson. That's good for 15 yards. He was tackled by Ty Law.
Now that's how you change the negative comments. Keyshawn Johnson has dropped 5 passes in the last 2 ball games. You're going to say negative things when that happens. But when you make catches like that, stretch out for the extra yard, you're going to have people saying positive things about you.
And that is catch number 51 on the season among the leaders in receptions among rookies. Again the sweep, and again Morrell is taken down for a loss on the play. The middle linebacker, Ted Johnson, getting to Adrian Morrell.
Ted Johnson's one of the captains of that defense. Anytime you're playing in the center of the defense, safeties or middle linebackers, you are one of the keys because you got to flow left and right. And many times the design of the defense is to let you make the tackle. The defensive linemen are going to make sure the offensive lineman can't get up on you. You slide over and make the tackle. Al Grove's defense is designed just like that, and it worked out for Johnson on that one.
Ninth play of this drive coming up. The Jets starting back at their 20-yard line. The short set by Foley, and he threw a bullet caught by Kyle Brady, the tight end, who has rarely been in the offense. Kyle Brady with only his 8th catch of the season. We were talking about this yesterday with Ron Earhart, the Jets offensive coordinator, and you get the idea that the quarterbacks have kind of given up because Brady just is not getting open as frequently as they would like.
Well, that's exactly what happens. If you're not there, if you're a quarterback, if you've got about 3.1 to 3.3 seconds to drop back, set, and throw the ball to somebody, and the man you turn is not getting open, you're not going to get the ball the next time. And it's expected.
26 catches as a rookie last year. A catch a moment ago, only his 8th. Foley can't find anyone. And apparently the play was whistled dead with Chris Slade in the face of Glenn Foley. A penalty marker was thrown. Or is it apparently the play clock, too much time.
Remember the advice that Drew Bledsoe gave Glenn Foley. Be patient. Don't get discouraged if everything doesn't go right. And there's one thing that just didn't go right. That is a mental mistake by a young quarterback, not being aware of that 40-second clock.
The last start for Glenn Foley was back in '93 while at Boston College in the CarQuest Bowl against Virginia. In fact, he was most valuable player of that game. It's a 3rd down and 12. Foley steps up. And Foley directing traffic, able to complete it. Wayne Corbett was able to get the feet inbounds. A 15-yard pass play. Otis Smith on the coverage, and it's a Jet first down.
Protection's actually holding up here. Anytime a quarterback has room to roll out or scramble out of the pocket, Wayne Corbett, clutch 3rd down receiver for the New York Jets all year long. Another one on that play. You can see right here that Glenn Foley is actually telling him, turn up the field. Corbett ran into the flat, turned up the field when he got the signal from Foley. They're starting to get on the same page.
An impressive drive by the Jets, converting on 3 third-down plays. Foley throwing to the end zone, but throws it away. Once again, double coverage on Keyshawn Johnson. How about this, Sam? The Jets have been able to convert on a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 8, and a 3rd and 12 on this drive.
Well, you know, that's progress. You'd hope that as the game goes along that Foley becomes a little bit more comfortable with everything. The team starts to believe in him, and he starts to understand what's going to happen back there. As I mentioned earlier, everything happens real fast. Everything's kind of gray early, and then it clears up for the quarterback.
Foley 6 of 10, 64 yards. Intercepted once, looking at a 2nd down and 10 at the 12. The deep drop by Foley to set the screen, and it does not work. Adrian Morrell is hit for the loss. The left defensive tackle, Mark Wheeler, along with Pio Songapulatelli, make the stop.
The New England Patriots have just read the screen every time they've dropped back to throw this pass. The quarterback is going to drop straight back. Now, he tries to look away from where he's going to throw the ball and then lay it back over to the other side. But look at all the Patriots. They're all ready. In a situation like that, they're probably yelling to each other, alert for the screen, and they can sense that the quarterback isn't going down the field.
13th play of the drive. It's a 3rd and 16. Patriots 10 and the Jets nothing. Now Foley's pass, it is caught inside the 10-yard line. Alex Van Dyke taken down by Jerome Henderson. And it brings up a 4th down, 4th and about 8.
On the road, regardless of your record, kick the field goal right here. 4th down and 8. Your odds are too long that you're going to make that, especially tight down here with no threat deep because of the end zone being only 10 yards deep. When you're 4th down and 8, you really only have about 15 or 18 yards to work.
And this will be a 27-yard attempt by Nick Lowery, who certainly had his ups and downs this season, bothered by a knee earlier in the year. He's a one-time New England Patriot. Of course, Nick earlier in his career made the rounds. The high snap was put down, and Lowry's kick, good. So the Jets are on the board, trailing now by the score of 10-3 with 5:44 to go in the second quarter. Welcome back to Foxborough. Marv Albert with Sam Weish. 5:44 to go in the first half, and New England with the 10-3 lead on the Jets. Silvestri kicking away to Meggett and Brown. And the return by Meggett. Accelerates across the 35, across the 40-yard line. He put on the speed, and he returned it 36 yards. Stopped by Ronald Moore. A moment ago, Sam, we saw Bill Parcells very upset on the sideline.
You know, sometimes a coach will just throw a fit like that on a marginal issue just to make sure that team is still in this ball game like they should be. They got out to that early 10-0 lead. The Jets now have gotten back into it 10-3, and he wants to make sure they're sharp. They understand they're in for a full 4 quarters.
And a first down at the 41-yard line. Bledsoe with the short set, completing to Glenn. And a flag comes flying. Bobby Houston on the stop. Another flag is tossed. First catch for the outstanding rookie Terry Glenn, number 68 on the season. But let's see what this penalty involves.
The ball was deflected at first, then the catch, and it looked like Bobby Houston got a little bit of that face mask of Terry Glenn.
Personal foul, face mask, number 55, defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Let's see if we can see the face mask. It wasn't a flagrant one. It didn't look like, but they are going to go 15 yards, which means that the officials thought it was. There it is. He's cleanly got him, and he pulls him around. Anytime you see that neck snap like that, that's flagrant.
So the good return by Meggett. Now the pass completion of Glenn, followed by the face mask penalty, and the Patriots first down at the Jet 40-yard line. And that is dropped by Byers.
You know, going back to that face mask, that's why the officials gathered right there. I think they clearly saw the face mask. Then they wanted to decide, is this one worth 15 yards or 5 yards? And really and truly, in the heat of a ball game, sometimes a player, this is hard to say, but he can't let go. He's got his hand all the way around that, and he's got his fingers in between that mask. You can't let go of it, and you just have to accept 15 yards.
A 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line. Coach now split wide to the right side. And now comes in motion. Bledsoe with the time, and he completes. Sean Jefferson on a hook pattern picks up the first down. Marcus Coleman and Victor Green combined to make the stop.
Marcus Coleman had good coverage on Sean Jefferson, but after Sean Jefferson makes his final cut, watch Marcus Coleman slip. Right there, he loses his footing. Coming back to the ball like all good receivers do, the ball is thrown right waist high. You know, quarterbacks are told to throw the ball right at your belt buckle when you've got a still receiver, because the ball seems to climb as the receiver moves back towards the quarterback.
That's a tough field. Seeing guys go down right from the start. First down at the 29-yard line. And this is Martin off the pitch. Curtis Martin running well.
You see the big chunks of the field coming up. The snow, the field was covered before the snow came down, but the seams and so forth, there was enough moisture getting through that it left this field really soggy.
Snow and rain the last couple of days. It was in the advanced forecast for today, but the weather has changed considerably. It is right now 41 degrees in the Foxborough area. Mario Greer, the rookie from Tennessee, Chattanooga, in the backfield for the first time in this second down and 2. And this is Greer looking to throw on the option, throwing for the end zone, and it's broken up. Gary Jones knocked it away from Terry Glenn.
And let me tell you, when you put a play in like that, you call it a trick play. I don't really like to call them trick plays because they're sound football plays. You're expecting good pursuit and good support, and the receiver is going to get behind you. Well, But anytime you do it, you tell that passer, who is not a true passer, he's a running back who's going to throw a pass, if there's any doubt, run it. Don't throw a tight throw. In this case, he tried to get one in. There's double coverage right there, and Jerry Jones all over.
That's his first passing attempt in the NFL. Well, Bill Parcells earlier this season said, I'm the Doug Moe of the NFL. Curtis Martin looking for the first down, stopped by Brock and Jones. Parcells referring to the open style of one-time NBA coach Doug Moe, because Bill has certainly aired it out a bit more this season.
Well, I think the 55+ thousand fans that are here, the sellout crowd, 25 I think it is in a row, sellout here, like to see that. That's fun to watch. The offense is a lot more fun to watch than the defense. Let's face it. It's that's the spectacular part of the ball game. If they don't make the first down right here, I'm going to predict that he goes for it, because it's just going to be inches away.
Sam really going out.
I know the guy like a book. I know what he's going to do.
But it is a first down.
He invited me to play golf in the offseason.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Ben didn't give me his home phone number so I could call him up on it.
I tell you, all of us who have spent time with you this year can relate to that maneuver.
Absolutely.
And Curtis Martin, the 15th player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 or more in his first 2 seasons, just went over the 1,000-yard mark. First down at the 19-yard line, and a big hole for Martin. Curtis Martin inside the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. For Curtis Martin, his 17th touchdown of the season.
Reminiscent of a couple of runs that happened last week against the New York Jets. The one thing about Curtis Martin, though, everything is, quote, north and south. He's moving forward towards that line of scrimmage, full acceleration, watching the blocking take place, but not pausing to see it take place.
And now a try for the point after by Adam Vinatieri. 3 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the first half. And it's the Patriots with a 17-3 lead on the Jets. This is a New England Patriot team that has responded exceptionally well after being blown out by Denver 34-8. They follow it up with solid wins over Indianapolis and San Diego. Last Sunday night, a 45-7 rout of the Chargers. Here's Reggie Cobb on the return. Across the 25-yard line. Again, a good return by Cobb, this time for 25. And the Jets will go to work right there at the 30-yard line. There's Curtis Martin, who has gone over 1,000 yards for the second straight season. The only other Patriot to do it for 2 straight, Jim Nantz, one-time Syracuse Orangeman, did it in 66 and 67 for the Patriots. 1,458 yards in 66, 1,216 in 1967. Jim Nantz running out of the fullback position for the Patriots. And Curtis Martin's name goes along the name of Jim Nantz in the record book. And here's Morrell, short pickup, stopped by Chris Slade. We're down to 2:45 remaining in the first half, and the Patriots have opened up a 17-3 lead. And Sam, this in sharp contrast to what happened in the earlier meeting at the Meadowlands.
So back on November the 10th, the first 4 possessions were interception, fumble, and punt. These first 4, the pooch punt, 2 TDs, and a field goal.
Bledsoe had his difficulties in that first meeting 4 weeks ago, and then turned it around. Here's Morrell again to the right side and reaches across the 40-yard line, stopped by Slade. It is a first down for the Jets. So Adrian Morrell has carried the ball 9 times for 32 yards. New England has done a good job against him. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the half. And the Jets were not able to get the play off. There's the 2-minute warning. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us at the half for the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, and Chris Collinsworth will get you caught up with all the scores and highlights from around the NFL. It's all coming up at halftime. 2 minutes remaining in the half. And here is Foley able to complete. Leaping catch by Keyshawn Johnson, and he picks up the first down, met by Scooter Magruder.
And Mike Scooter Magruder is the 5th defensive back in the ballgame. In this entire series, they've gone with 5 defensive backs, 4 rushing linemen, 2 linebackers. Just a straight out cut right here. No move at all. Timing throw to the outside, and you're going to see Scooter coming from the outside. He's going to try to keep him from going out of bounds, but instead of wrapping him up, he just throws his body and doesn't get it done.
An advance of 12, third catch for Johnson, and a first down at the 47-yard line. Flag comes flying, and the play is blown dead.
Looked like Kyle Brady left early, and early movement like that, they're going to stop the play.
False start. Number 88, offense, moving prior to the snap. The 5-yard penalty, first down.
I've never been able to see this well since I've been up here. From the sideline, I'd be yelling, "Who did it?" But up here, you know right who it is, because
maybe in your next life, when you come back as a head coach, you handle it from upstairs. It is a first. And as Foley fires, incomplete. Intended for Brady. So Glenn Foley has been looking for the tight end, Kyle Brady.
Kyle Brady's asked for the ball, but in this situation, it's 2nd down and 15 now. And this was a 1st and 15. Kyle Brady's just going to break to the outside. He's got the chance at the ball. It was just off target on that one. But it's 2nd and 15. You don't have to get all 15 right now. There's a minute 51 left. It's important to move the ball. Don't give it back to the Patriots, but move the ball and get down and get some points before halftime.
2nd and 15 at the 48 in Jet territory. Foley able to step up, couldn't find anybody, goes the short route and dropped. Morrell could not hold on.
Adrian Morrell is a player that wants to win in the worst way. He goes into every ball game competing against his best effort. And this is the kind of thing, though, that when things aren't going well for the team, even your most energetic players have that kind of a day. One hand out, ball a little bit behind him, but he'll catch those most of the time.
He was telling us last night that he refuses to allow the negative attitude that Keyshawn Johnson has referred to affect him. He says this is his job, and says he wants to be the best that he can be. That'd be kind of a catchy phrase, you know, actually for an advertising campaign. Webster Slaughter, the intended receiver, and he was covered by Magruder.
7 defensive backs. They brought 5 rushers. Man coverage, illegal procedure against the offense. I'm sure they'll decline this one because it brings up 4th and long.
Illegal formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Brian Hansen will punt.
You've got to have 6 men. Well, you've got 5 to begin with, but none of these players are on the line of scrimmage. Therefore, or maybe only one of them, you need 2 of those guys on the line for it to be a legal formation.
Oh, the high snap handled by Hansen, and then in trouble, and he has to run it. And he takes the hit and is taken out of bounds by Marty Moore, able to spin him, script him, but the play is over. Marty Moore, you could just see the eyes light up as he saw the punt of Brian Hansen heading in his direction.
This is the case that we talked about it earlier in the day, that when one thing goes wrong, teams that are struggling, everything seems to collapse around them. Punt the ball right now, Brian Hansen. It doesn't matter if you're going to have people downfield. We'll just take the penalty. Don't take a loss and give field position to the New England Patriots. Big mistake by the punter.
That's John Hudson, man who snapped the ball. So with a minute 33 remaining in this first half, Patriots have another chance to pick up more points. Curtis Martin, and he's brought down by the combination of Marvin Jones and Chad Cascadden. Second catch for Martin, picked up 7. It'll be a 2nd and 3.
A little quick screen out to the left, get all the blockers out in front and let the runner run. With 2 timeouts left, they can afford to do that. They're going to be in field position for the field goal soon.
And that pass thrown off the mark, intended for Terry Glenn.
That was a case that Drew Bledsoe didn't take his own advice. He did not maintain his patience on that one. That was a sidearm, quick throw. Really didn't have anybody open, tried to get one in.
Bledsoe, 10 of 18, 114 yards. He has thrown for 1 touchdown, connecting with Ben Coates. Now a 3rd down and 3 with 1:05 to go in the half. And again, we get whistles.
Timeout. New England.
Well, apparently the Patriots called for time. It is New England 17, New York 3. We'll be right back. New England with 1 timeout remaining, 1:05 to go in this first half. They have a 3rd down and 3 at the Jet 42-yard line. That is Byers in motion. And the pitch to Meggett. Turns the corner and has the first down. Able to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Marvin Jones with the tackle on Meggett forced him out.
Holding on that one, though. They pitched quick to the outside and a clean tackle. We'll get the report on this one, but that's holding against the New England Patriots.
Holding. Number 71, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, it's called on the right guard, Todd Rucci, 4-year man from Penn State. There was the thought earlier in the week that Bob Clinch, who's made it back from knee surgery and pneumonia, might start at right guard, but the Patriots staying with Rucci.
So right here, right in here, you see that there's the hold. See him tackle right there. He reaches out and just tries to tackle Bobby Hamilton and gets the tackle done, but the holding is called.
And it's a 3rd down and 13, and here is Bledsoe. And the catch is made for the first down by Sean Jefferson in front of Marcus Coleman. And that's good for 15. 4th catch of the day for Jefferson.
Boy, this is the difference between a team that has everything going for it. They make the big plays. Sean Jefferson does it there. The Jets having trouble to make a play.
All right, Bledsoe on 1st down. And completes inside the 30-yard line. Sam Gash stopped by Bobby Houston. And the clock is stopped. Timeout has been called. So the Patriots taking their final timeout. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports will present more NFL action at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. These New England Patriots go up against Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys. And then in the second half of the doubleheader, you can catch an AFC West matchup. The Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. That'll be the NFL on NBC next Sunday starting at 12 noon Eastern Time. When we pick it up, 2nd and 5 from the 28-yard line, you see 26 seconds remaining in this first half. A solid half for Bledsoe. Now 12 of 20, 137 yards.
Right now they're sitting on a 45-yard field goal, 46-yard field goal, but on treacherous turf. They'd like to get it closer. This one would be a tough kick at this distance.
Bledsoe with a long look to the end zone and then fires. Intended for Sean Jefferson.
Take the shot down the field. There were 26 seconds left on the clock when that play was, when the ball was snapped, when the play started. 20 seconds left now, 3rd down. My guess is they've got to work to the outside. If they work to the middle of the field, they've got to hustle right back to the line of scrimmage and ground the ball. They've got no timeouts left.
A win today by the Patriots, and they'll clinch a playoff position in their 36-year history. They have never been able to clinch a playoff spot with 2 games remaining on the schedule. They're up by the count of 17-3. And now Bledsoe going short range and able to complete. Terry Glenn runs it out. Run out by Gary Jones. That stops the clock with 15 seconds remaining. And a first down for the Patriots at the 13-yard line.
smart play for a first-year player in this league. He's going up the sideline, but he's working his way toward the sideline. No chance in his mind he was going to cut back inside. The half would have been over had he done it. They've got time now for one shot to the end zone, and they're in easy field goal position if they don't make it.
Now Bledsoe to the other side, and incomplete, intended for Glenn.
Believe me, he didn't want to catch that one. If he catches that one, he's going to be tagged down immediately by Aaron Glenn, and the half would have ended. They could not have reassembled. There's only 11 seconds left on the clock. You don't hear Aaron Glenn's name mentioned a lot because they don't throw in his direction. He's a very, very good cover man, and pretty much everything goes away from him when you're especially in the tight throws.
2nd and 10 at the 13-yard line, 11 seconds remaining in the half. Patriots looking for one more score. And Bledsoe, incomplete, once again intended for Glenn, covered by Coleman, and a flag thrown with 7 seconds to go in the half.
This looks like holding against the Patriots. Just what you don't want if you're a New England Patriot, making this field goal even tougher.
Number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Max Lane on the hold. You know, as a coach, you're sitting there with 15 seconds left. You go ahead and kick the field goal or not. You run the risk of the offense making a mistake like that, a holding penalty that makes the field goal tough. They were down there in almost chip shot range, but with the field under these conditions, this is a difficult field goal. The snap, the hold, every part of this is going to be tougher because of the way the field is.
Adam Vinatieri earlier hit from 19. This a 41-yard attempt. Tom Tupa puts it down, and to straighten it out, did a good job, and the kick is good.
Tom Tupa is the guy that made that one happen. The snap was just a little bit inside, and when you're the holder, you're on one knee, you're catching a pass about 7 or 8 yards from the center. You got to get it, put the ball in the right spot, put the laces forward, all in about 1.2 seconds, and he got it done.
What a turnaround for Adam Vinatieri. Here's Tupa making the adjustment off the snap from Mike Bartram. Vinatieri now 24 of 32 for the season. We can recall earlier in the year, Bill Parcells, as you take a look at how close that just didn't make it inside the upright. Bill Parcells was referring to Adam Vinatieri as a guy who was week to week.
I can remember one kick that when he made it, it got him over the hump, and if he had missed it, it was called his death sentence. That was early in the year, but he has certainly adjusted. And you know, a kicker will go that way. They'll start out, or they'll have periods where they're just not swinging that leg right, and then they get into sync and make those kind of kicks that he just made.
He is a rookie from South Dakota State, and getting set to kick it off with 2 seconds left in the half, and the Patriots now up 20-3. Let's see how Vinatieri and the Patriots play it. Angles it, and it's taken by one of the up men, and that will wrap it. Reggie Cobb able to make his way to come up with that the kick by Vinatieri. So at the half, it's the Patriots 20 and the Jets 3. The Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report is next after these messages from the NFL.
Report brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now.
Welcome, everyone. Those of you who have been watching the Jets and the Patriots, Greg Gumbel along with Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, Chris Collinsworth. At halftime, our score, the Patriots with a 20-3 lead on the New York Jets. And, Mike, I made the comment that Drew Bledsoe, let's try him, looks like he's playing with as much confidence as he's ever had.
But the thing about the whole football team right now, and this is something you got to watch now, they're peaking at the right time. Their defense is playing much more consistent football. They're getting a pass rush. The coverage is a little better. The corner's a little tighter. Bledsoe's excellent. Curtis Martin, great football player, very instinctive. Good receivers. This team could be the team to watch, and I'm telling you.
Drew Bledsoe. Okay, in Seattle, the Buffalo Bills doing battle with the Seahawks at halftime. Seahawks lead it by a score of 16-8. Andre Reed went out early in the first quarter with a right knee injury. He will not return. Scoreless game. Seattle scored first off a Buffalo turnover. Rick Meyer to Joey Galloway. 27-yard touchdown, 7-0. Jim Kelly back in the lineup, struggled early on. His pass intended for Russell Copeland, picked off by Darrell Williams, who returned it 39 yards and set up a Seattle field goal to make it 10-0. Williams later intercepted another Kelly pass. It was 16-0 when Kelly got the Bills on the board. This is a 37-yard strike to the rookie, Eric Moulds. The two-point conversion was good. 16-8 is the score. And the Seattle Seahawks are 5-8 on the year. The Bills are 9-4. In San Francisco, the Carolina Panthers with a 24-14 lead on the San Francisco 49ers. This game approaches halftime, and you have to be impressed by the Panthers, Joe.
I am, and I'll tell you what impresses me. Who would think that Kerry Collins is in a shootout with Steve Young, and right now it looks like he's winning. San Francisco's turned it over a couple of times. These guys are going after it. Just had personal fouls. I mean, they don't like each other.
Collins leads the touchdown derby 3-2 to Steve Young. And in Arizona, the Dallas Cowboys trailing the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 6-0. Deion Sanders has not played and probably will not play in this game. Prior to the start of the game, he suffered lower back spasms, but defense hasn't been their problem.
Yeah, the Cowboys lose their two best defensive players and their offense falls apart. Makes about as much sense as the rest of this day, Greg. But nuts.
Good analysis, Chris.
Thank you very much.
We'll bring you scores and highlights of the early games right after a word from the NFL and these words from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now,
welcome back to our studios, everyone, for a look now at the early action today, and we will begin with the game in Green Bay, where the Packers beat the Denver Broncos. 41-6 was the final score. John Elway sitting this one out with a sore left hamstring. His counterpart, Brett Favre, had a great day. 4 touchdown passes late in the first half. After eluding the rush, he steps up, hits Antonio Freeman, who caught 3 of them. This one good for 14 yards, 13-3 Packers. Favre able to read the blitz and hit Freeman again, who slips the tackle and turns into a 51-yard touchdown play. That made it 20-3. Green Bay fans have the Superdome on their minds. They claim the NFC Central Division title. And take a look at Antonio Freeman since he has returned from the injury list. He had a big day against Chicago. He had an even bigger day today against the Denver Broncos. And it looks like with all their walking wounded back, Joe, the Packers are looking good.
Well, everybody said this was a preview of the Super Bowl. We hope not. But
Joe.
Yeah, I tell you, though, you can't. I don't think we can judge the game today without Elway. It's not the same Denver Broncos. I will say this. When Favre gets rolling, Mike made a comment, he's in a zone. You can't stop him. 41 points today. It's the highest scoring team in the NFL. And playing at home, Green Bay's going to be tough to compete.
Packers have won 15 straight at Lambeau Field. The Broncos' 9-game winning streak is snapped. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers claim the NFC Central. They beat the San Diego Chargers 16-3. 3-0 in the first quarter. Wild play here. Mike Tomczak's pass to Jonathan Hayes is intercepted by Darian Gordon. He's hit by Terrence Shaw. His teammate loses the ball. Ernie Mills recovers. It led to a field goal by Norm Johnson in a 6-0 Pittsburgh lead. And then Tomczak for Andre Hastings. 11-yard touchdown pass. Pittsburgh lead stretched to 13-0. The final score 16-3. And Mike, the Pittsburgh Steelers look pretty primed for the postseason.
I don't know if I know how good or you know how good or Bill Cowher knows how good they are. I don't think that they're playing that good right now. Tomczak did not have a great day, but he did enough. They rushed the ball well enough. But the thing that looks good right now that's going to keep them in everything is that great defense they have. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. They're stopping the run. They're doing everything they have to have with the defense. But they got to have more offense if they're going to get anywhere in the playoffs.
Steelers are 10-4. Chargers have lost 3 out of 4 now, and they're in big trouble at 7-7. Speaking of big trouble, in Miami, the Dolphins fall to the New York Giants 17-7. Dan Marino facing the Giants for only the second time in his career. Scoreless in the first quarter. Dave Brown to Rodney Hampton, who scores from 5 yards out, his first touchdown of the season, the 48th of his career. 7-0 New York. In the second quarter, Marino finds fullback Robert Wilson with a 3-yard touchdown pass. And with that, Marino has now thrown a touchdown pass against every team in the NFL. This game tied at 7. 10-7 Giants in the third. Quarterback Dave Brown with a little extra padding after being sacked. He comes back to throw a 1-yard touchdown pass to tight end Howard Cross. The Giants win it to go 6-8 on the year, and the Dolphins fall to 6-8. Maybe even more important, they are 2-6 over their last 8 games. In Houston, the Oilers with a chance to step up, they didn't do it. Jacksonville wins it 23-17. Eddie George, 141-yard rushing last week, had only 45 today. Opening drive, Natron Means powers in from a yard out, and Jacksonville takes the early 7-0 lead. 10-7 Jaguars in the third. Steve McNair's pass over the middle, intercepted by Chris Hudson, who returns 21 yards to the Jaguars' 47-yard line. In addition to the interception, McNair also fumbled twice. And that set up Means, who finds the opening, takes it in from 5 for his second touchdown of the day. Jaguars up 17-7. They go on to win it 23-17. I asked you earlier if maybe this signals the end for the moment of the Steve McNair experiment in Houston.
I don't think so. I think that he won the job, and overall this just wasn't a good day for the Houston Oilers. But the real story now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have now worked their way back into the playoff picture. They're right there with San Diego and Houston, plus the fact that they've won 4 of the last 5. But the real winner here today, because of everything that happened, the Indianapolis Colts, with the big win over Philadelphia on Thursday night, all of a sudden they are the team that, should the playoffs start today, would be in the playoff picture.
And have a long time to rest and get healthy for their next time out. In Tampa, look at what the Bucks did to the Washington Redskins today. 24-10, Tampa the final score. Bucks were absolutely pumped up for the Redskins today. Trent Dilfer to wide open Jackie Harris for 22 yards. His first touchdown of the year. Tampa led 7-0. 16-3 Bucks in the third. Dilfer to rookie fullback Mike Allstott, who breaks to the sideline and lunges in to complete a 13-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion, 24-3. Norv Turner's team continues to spiral downward. The final score, 24-10. The Redskins fall to 8-6. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games. Soldier Field in Chicago, late explosion by the Bears carries them to a 35-9 win over the Rams. Chicago defense dominated the Rams today. Ranked next to last in the league, their offense is. Dave Craig airs it out for Curtis Conway, 28-yard touchdown, 7-0 Chicago. Craig also scored on a 1-yard run. Rashan Salam rushed for 115 yards today. This 4-yarder, his second touchdown of the day. He had just 1 entering the game, and the Bears rolled 35-9, the most points that Chicago has scored this season. In Cincinnati, the Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens today, 21-14. Ted Marchibroda's Ravens losers of 4 of 5 coming in. 13-7 Cincinnati in the fourth. After trailing most of the way, Vinny Testaverde avoids the sack, and then to the rookie Jermaine Lewis with a 7-yard touchdown. The Ravens take the lead 14-13. But here comes Jeff Blake and the Bengals. Fakes the handoff to Kajana Carter. 1-yard touchdown pass to Tony McGee. 2-point conversion, 21-14. Ravens with a last chance on 4th down. Testaverde to Carwell Gardner, short of the goal line. Sam Shade was there waiting for him. The Ravens miserable in the red zone this afternoon, and in the snow, the Bengals win it by a score of 21-14. The Bengals are 6-8 on the year. In New Orleans, a couple of 2-11 teams doing battle. The Falcons came out winners, 31-15, the final score. Our NFL and NBC halftime activities continue.
Welcome back to Foxborough. Marv Albert with Sam Weiss. The Patriots with a commanding 20-3 lead on the Jets. Well, let's see. The Jets lost 35-10 the previous 2 weeks. Today at the half, they're down 20-3, so right on pace. As Vinatieri kicks it off to the combination of Cobb and Van Dyke. And the return by Reggie Cobb. Out across the 25-yard line. 27-yard return taken down by Larry Wiggum. A look at the Coors Light halftime stats, and the numbers certainly reflect what took place. All New England, 215 total yards.
Twice what the Jets accomplished, and the 17 yards of possession in the first game back in November. The Jets had the ball for 21 minutes in the first half, so they have reversed what trap they fell into in game 1.
And a first down for Glenn Foley and the Jets. Foley throwing off the mark, intended for Keyshawn Johnson, who was covered by Todd Collins.
You know, patterns like that is called a shallow cross by most teams. You're running across the field about 5 to 8 yards, and when you read a zone, your best bet is to turn and to stop, gear down. And the way you tell the quarterback that you're going to stop is you square your shoulders. You turn your shoulders back to the quarterback. Of course, that did not happen. Foley looked like he expected him to stop, or yeah, that it was his lousy throw.
Foley now 9 of 18 for 80 yards. Morrell trying to dance his way, could not, hit for the loss. Mark Wheeler, the left defensive tackle, celebrating the moment. Mark Wheeler in his 5th season out of Texas A&M.
In the first half, the New York Jets possessions, interception, punt, they got the field goal, and then it ended the half one down. So they just didn't get it done on offense with a young quarterback.
It is a 3rd and 10. Opening minute of play, 3rd quarter. Bad snap handled by Foley. You see the flags come flying.
The Patriots were moving quick, and I think they caused the offensive, somebody on the offensive line to flinch.
False start. Number 70, offense, moving prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the right guard, Matt O'Dwyer, called on the penalty.
7 defensive backs now come into the ball game, anticipating the throw, 3rd and long. Matt O'Dwyer, I'll tell you, Matt O'Dwyer is one of those guys that you want on your team because he is full speed all the time.
It's a 3rd and 15, back at the 25-yard line. And Foley's pass, a diving attempt, a flag is thrown. Keyshawn Johnson with a terrific effort, and a penalty marker down. Ty Law on the coverage.
This will be interesting because both of them were jockeying, almost trying to gain their balance by holding on to the other guy. It's going to be the opinion of the officials as to who was fouling who on this one. That was a very, very good catch, though, one-handed by Keyshawn Johnson, regardless of the foul.
Pass interference. Number 24, defense. That penalty is declined. Takes the result of the play. 1st down.
So it's a 20-yard advance on the catch by Keyshawn Johnson. Ty Law was called for the interference that was declined.
Most of the time, these kind of throws are thrown back behind the receiver. In other words, they want him to run up the field and then run back down the sideline. But with the field the way it is, he couldn't get himself underway.
That's 1st down at their 45-yard line. Look out. Foley is taken down by the strong safety, Lawyer Malloy. He was coming on the blitz.
Let me tell you, that's a defense that anticipated the snap count. I thought they were going to call offsides on the Patriots on this one, but here they come. You can see them. They didn't quite leave before the ball, but they could read the rhythm of the quarterback. They could anticipate the snap. That's how they get the jump on him. You know what really happens there is the defense is moving before the offense comes out of their 3-point stance. They have no chance. The quarterback, young quarterbacks don't do it sometimes. They have to mix the count up.
Patriots with their 3rd sack of the day, 1st of the year for Malloy. And here is Foley finding Johnson, but immediately rocked by the middle linebacker, Ted Johnson, with the tackle on Keyshawn Johnson.
2nd down and long. They're playing a zone, letting everything happen in front of them. Now watch Keyshawn this time. You see him turn around, see his shoulders pretty well square up right there. He should stop when he squares his shoulders because the quarterback doesn't know if he's going to keep going. He obviously can't run at the same speed when he's turned halfway that way.
Well, Keyshawn with 5 catches for 62 yards. 3rd and 10 for the Jets. And Foley's pass was picked off and then dropped. Looked like Willie McGinnis had a shot at it. It is ruled incomplete.
Immediately ruled that one incomplete. There was no question in the minds of the officials. 4 rushing defensive linemen, all zone behind it. Shotgun snap. Nobody back there with Foley. He's going to throw the ball. Just puts it right into the arms of Willie McGinnis, who just can't hold on to it long enough. That's the old rule. Put the ball away before you run.
So Brian Hansen with his 2nd, actually his 3rd punt. One of them ended up where off the bad snap he had a run for his life. Megan again with the muff. 2nd time that that has occurred. It's a 44-yard punt, and the Patriots back to the offense when we return. 12:21 remaining in the third quarter here in Foxborough. Patriots 20 and the Jets 3. And New England starts out from its 21-yard line. Bledsoe took the long look and then hit Martin, but Curtis Martin trapped back behind the line. Rick Hamilton involved on the stop, and it's a loss on the play.
They actually came out with 4 wide receivers that time on first down. The Patriots in their possessions, remember we talked about their first meeting that the Patriots fumbled the ball once, threw 2 interceptions, and punted in their first 4. You can see their first 4 were much more successful, along with a 5th field goal this time.
That earlier meeting at the Meadowlands 4 weeks ago, and the Patriots beat the Jets 31-27 after trailing 21-0 at one point in the first half. Bledsoe coming up short. Sam Gash, the intended receiver. Crowd looking for a penalty, and it is thrown. Crowd wanted interference on Bobby Houston.
He's grabbing that right knee. You hate to see anybody reach for that particular part of their body, because it's the most vulnerable part of a football player. He's throwing back. He shouldn't throw it back across his body anyway, but you can see he's got his knee twisted up underneath, plus the split. That one, you won't know for a while how serious that one might be. Sam Gash is one of those guys that fits Bill Parcells' description of a fullback. Catch and block. He can do that. Bill Parcells was talking about him as being one of those guys that was wasting a lot of energy. It took him 2 or 3 years to calm him down to where he did just that, catch and pass. Said he never stopped until he heard glass before. I guess that means until he heard full contact.
Yes, it is a 1st and 10 on the interference penalty. And here's Martin. Curtis Martin out to the 30, stopped by Marvin Jones. Sam Gash has had a terrific season as a blocker and a pass receiver. Bill Parcells saying that he's come such a long way that he learned to play the game in a more relaxed manner. He felt that last year he was too much full speed.
You know, talking to Drew Bledsoe, I asked him about Gash, and everybody on the team likes him, of course. He said when he got a chance to get back on the kickoff team to run into that wedge, he just came back all excited again because he likes to do that. But Bill's trying to measure that, not to get him into the excitable part too much.
2nd down and 6. One-handed catch by Glenn. Terry Glenn covered by Aaron Glenn. That's the 3rd catch of the game for Glenn. Let's see where they spot it. It is right at the marker. Things have really turned around for Terry Glenn, who had the injury problem earlier in the season. He was a controversial 1st-round selection. It was clear that Bill Parcells preferred a defensive player. It was not his pick. And Bill a little slow in coming around in terms of accepting the skills of Glenn, who coming into today with, well, that is updated, 70 catches in all, trailing Earl Cooper of the San Francisco 49ers, who holds the all-time record for rookie receptions. That was back in 1980, and Sam, I believe you were a member of that 49er staff.
I worked with the passing game on with Billy Matthews, the running game. You know, another telling stat with Terry, not only 70 receptions, but coming into this game, he was the target on 124 throws. That means they're going to him a lot as well.
It is a 3rd down, and just inches away from a 1st down, and so Bledsoe looks to pick it up on the sneak.
This will be strictly the spot of the official right there. Did he get enough movement? And you're really not looking at the ball carrier, the quarterback. You're looking at the offensive line versus the defensive line. If there's any movement, they usually give it to you.
And the word on Sam Gash, sprained left knee, and he's out the rest of the game. See him hobbling along the sideline.
A sprained knee is a very generic term. That could be a very minor injury, could be something very serious.
Well, New England did pick up the 1st down on the quarterback sneak. A 1st down at the 36-yard line. Play action. And Bledsoe to the sideline. Completes. Glenn runs it out, making the catch in front of Gary Jones.
And that particular style of play is called a waggle pass, or a bootleg. The quarterback is going to go to the right, and then he's going to throw the ball back to the left. Now, here he goes back to the right. He looks for a moment, and then he throws back, pre-designed, all the way back to the other side. You like to see those passes because what you're getting is flow from the defense and you're throwing back across the grain.
And it's good for 25 yards. So it's been another splendid day for Drew Bledsoe, who comes off what Bledsoe felt was perhaps his best performance of the season last Sunday night against the San Diego Chargers. And look out, extracurricular activity with the penalty marker thrown. It's Hugh Douglas involved for the Jets.
Bruce Armstrong wasn't going to let that one pass either, defending his quarterback. The whistle did blow. The play was over. And then Hugh Douglas came back and went a little swat at the ball. You know where that's dangerous is you got your hand on that ball. You can jam a finger in a second on that one because you're not expecting it. You're not protecting it. Your hand or protecting yourself against a blow. And the officials want to talk about this one because this one was stopped. So it's an offensive penalty to begin with. They want to see what the penalty should be.
False starts. Number 11, pulling out without the ball. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Quarterback sometimes forgets the snap count himself. See him pull away from it. When he moves like that, that's the same as an offensive lineman or illegal motion. Actually, that wasn't Hugh Douglas. That was Marv Washington that came in there and made the swat at the ball. Protected by Armstrong.
It is a 1st and 15 at the 44-yard line. A floating pass for Keith Byers. That's his first catch of the day. And hauled down by Victor Green.
And Keith Byers told me the other day, he said, December is when you separate the pretenders from the contenders. And plays like this, not just the catch, but holding on to it after the catch like that, that's part of the determination and start of the focus towards the playoffs.
A one-handed grab by Byers. Now Mario Greer has checked in, replacing Keith Byers. Greer came on in the second quarter and immediately got the ball, and on the option play tried to throw it into the end zone, and it was incomplete. Timeout is taken. When we come back, 2nd and 8 for the Patriots at the 37 and Jet turn.
This is the NFL on NBC.
Well, a cool, crisp 38-degree evening in New England. The Patriots with a 20-3 lead on the Jets with 8:39 remaining in this third quarter. I'll have Sam explain those people in just a moment. And here is Bledsoe throwing for the end zone to Jefferson. Could not hold on. He had Marcus Coleman beaten.
Just a straight post pattern, and as you see the finish of this play, he's running right at the goal post. That's where the name of the pattern came from. Coach is having way too much time on their hands to come up with names like that, but he's got Coleman beat. Closing in on that goal post, and just lets it drop. There's no explanation. No way to explain this other than he drops one he ought to catch.
That's his third drop of the game and second in the end zone. 3rd down and 8 at the 37-yard line. Short set by Bledsoe, and the pass deflected and intercepted. So the Jets will take over. Bobby Houston coming up with the ball.
And the Jets get a break, and that's strictly pass rush, anticipating the throw, getting the hands up if you can't get to the quarterback, and then Bobby Houston alertly finding the ball in the air for the interception.
It appeared Marvin Washington got a piece of it, and Bobby Houston with his second interception of the season. So it's the Jets 1st and 10 from the 40. We'll be right back. Well, Drew Bledsoe, who last season had a problem with balls being deflected, just had one deflected by Marvin Washington. It ended up in the hands of Bobby Houston for the interception. Bledsoe 17 of 29, 187 yards. Foley 11 of 21, 107 yards. Foley and the Jets starting out from their 40-yard line. Foley with the time and able to fire a bullet to Wayne Crabett. Taken down by the one-time Jet Otis Smith. Crabette's second catch of the day. That's good for 14 yards. He has 74 receptions for the season.
Just a slant play. Corbett is coming inside. The real poise came in this play from Clint Foley because he looked to the right on a 3-step drop. That means you're not far from those defensive linemen, and then came back to the left for the completion.
And a first down at the 47. Morrell spinning, not able to get going. And that's been the problem. It has not been a bad day for Glenn Foley, and this is first NFL start, but the Patriots came into today seeking to stop the running game. Morrell with 11 carries, 29 yards, and they put the clamps on him to this point.
And it's hurt them on first down as well. They just haven't gotten those yards on first down. The Patriots, on the other hand, have averaged over 6 yards. The Jets just over 2 on first down.
That was a loss of 3, a 2nd and 13. And Foley completes to Anderson. Richie Anderson out of the backfield gets inside the 45, where he's met by Collins and Johnson.
Now that's okay. Glenn Foley this time is looking down the field. Nothing's there. He lets his eyes drop and lays the ball off short, getting something out of the play. You can see the confidence of a quarterback develop during the course of a ball game. His movement in the pocket is nice and steady. He seems to know this offense very well, and now he's putting the ball to the right guy.
Third down and 6. Crowd booing a chant of BC for Boston College. That for the years of Glenn Foley. And Foley completes for the first down as Kyle Brady tackled by Scooter Magruder. Second catch of the day for Brady.
And Glenn Foley openly says that he likes to throw the ball to the tight end, that he was going to be looking for Brady today because that's his history. The offense calls for the tight end to be a part of the offense, and when you're new, you just try to establish a few things, and that's one of them.
Overall, only the 5th game in the NFL career of Glenn Foley. Played in part of 4 games. He was slated to take over for Boomer Esiason last season. Look out, Foley in trouble, able to get it away, and incomplete intended again for Brady. But when he came on for Esiason in the game before the one in which he was to start, he was sacked by Aaron Jones of New England and then dislocated his right shoulder, and it is very unusual to return following surgery on a dislocated throwing shoulder.
You know, I'm not fully aware medically the difference between separated shoulder and a dislocated shoulder.
Man, defense, it's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
But Foley's shoulder was dislocated, obviously a much more serious injury than a separated shoulder, which means you just kind of pulled it out of the socket for a moment. Very few people come back from that. In fact, no passer, no quarterback's ever done it before.
1st and 5 at the 30-yard line. Just under 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Foley throwing deep for Johnson. He has it inside the 5. He stepped out of bounds. Nice play, pretty pattern with Foley connecting with Johnson, who was covered by Clay.
The other aspect that you're seeing from Glenn Foley is that he's not looking just for the tight end, Kyle Brady, as he said he was. This time he's looking down the field for his wide receiver, Keyshawn Johnson, right here. And on a nice dry track, he probably would have cut upfield maybe for the touchdown.
6th catch of the day for Keyshawn Johnson. 25-yard pickup and a 1st and goal inside the 5. Foley on a timing pattern, incomplete. Ty Law with the coverage.
The ball was thrown just about where it was supposed to go. And you see Glenn Foley trying to get the call for the next play. Those headsets inside the helmet sometimes don't work as Ron Earhart tries to yell louder. Maybe you can hear it that way. But that ball was thrown about where you want it thrown. It was just thrown a little bit early. The receiver has to get there. It's all timing on those little step and goes or little fade patterns in the end zone.
Now Glenn Foley has stepped it up from having a decent game to being rather impressive, particularly here in the 3rd quarter. Foley looking end zone, throwing, diving attempt, touchdown. What a catch by Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, that's how you turn the negative comments around. You do it on the field. You play football and make plays. Now, he's not getting up very quickly. Hopefully not a serious injury because he went after a very tough catch, and you come down awkwardly when you go after one like this. Breaks back to the inside after he sees the scramble. See him plant, slide back to the inside. Just comes down hard. Sometimes that's just the wind knocked out of you.
And that is Glenn Foley's first NFL touchdown. A beautiful pattern run by Keyshawn Johnson. End zone. He's shaken up. And what a game Keyshawn has had. Something else going here. Keyshawn Johnson, very competitive, trying to show that he deserved to be selected as #1 in the draft. He has been hit with the stories of the exploits of Terry Glenn. And you know that he wants to show that he's the guy, particularly here in Foxborough, and he has come up very strong. Here's another look at the touchdown pass from Foley to Johnson.
You know, regardless of how he has come across via the media, as he's talked to his public through the media, this is a good football player, and he's going to be a good football player a long time. But he, at this point, for example, he's only averaging 1.3 yards run after the catch coming into this ballgame. That's the worst of anybody on the Jets team. So parts of his game still have to come up, but if he can make catches like that, he's going to get there.
And Johnson able to make his way to the Jet sideline, indicating that he's all right. Here's Nick Lowry for the extra point. Flag is thrown. A kick good by Lowry, but there is a penalty marker down.
And the official from the sideline comes across, probably somebody lining up offsides, usually on the defensive side of the ball, trying to crowd the ball as much as they can to block the extra point attempt.
So the call against the Patriots.
Offsides, number 25, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
So the call on Larry Wiggum of the Patriots, 5:28 remaining, third quarter. Patriots lead at 20-10. Well, with that extra point, Nick Lowry has tied his hero, Jan Stenerud, for second place on the NFL all-time scoring list. And off the kick, Beckett reaches out to the 30-yard line. It's a 20-yard return by Meggett. Now, how important was that drop by one of 3 drops in the game today by Sean Jefferson just moments ago prior to that Jet drive, which led to the touchdown.
He has Coleman beat in the end zone, right down the middle of the field, and on the very next play after this drop, right there, wide open, on the very next play, the interception that led to the Jets field goal. Ball's batted in the air. Bobby Houston intercepts. Jets march down for that first touchdown.
5:20 remaining in the third quarter. It's a 10-point lead now for New England. Byers battles his way for the first down. Cascadden and Glenn made the tackle, but Keith Byers kept moving and was able to make his way to the marker.
They have lined Keith Byers up as a wide receiver several times today, and depending on the coverage, if it's man-to-man coverage, a linebacker has to go out and cover him, as Cascadden did then. If it's zone, sometimes you'll get a safety out there, but disorients the defense.
And it looks like Aaron Glenn is hurt. Glenn was involved on the tackle of Byers, and he is down. Aaron Glenn in his third NFL season out of Texas A&M. As you mentioned earlier, Sam, has not come up with a high number of interceptions. 3 this year, only 3 in his 3 years, but players and coaches around the league respect his ability, and they have stayed away from Aaron Glenn. A reminder, next Saturday, NBC Sports will present more NFL action at the special time of 3:30 p.m. Eastern with the NFL on NBC. And then an interconference battle, the San Diego Chargers and the Chicago Bears, a special Saturday edition of the NFL on NBC next Saturday starting 3:30 Eastern Time. And there's Glenn back on his feet.
When a guy gets up, he's walking around like that, usually he's got one of those bumps or bruises that's going to be all right. His own man, it looks like, comes into him, trying to bring down Keith Byers, who outweighs both of them. Looks like just one of those bruises to the back of the ribs that shake off back in the ball game later. Although he is slow coming across that field, though, so he's not in a big hustle, but whenever you walk off and you don't have a trainer assisting you like that, they've evaluated you that there's no, probably nothing broken at least.
And Aaron Glenn being replaced by Ray Mickens, who at one time was the starting right corner, but Marcus Coleman has been in there as the starter the last couple of weeks. Mickens still bothered by sore quadriceps.
You know, Mickens, Gary Jones, Aaron Glenn, all of them from Texas A&M in the same backfield in college at one time.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line. And Bledsoe again goes to the deep pattern and just did overthrow Terry Glenn.
That's two now. You got the drop pass by Sean Jefferson, and this just overthrown over Terry Glenn's arms. There's the clean throw. Nothing obstructing his throw. Just overshoots him a little bit. Just misses. Gary Jones is trying to get there. This looks like double coverage in the hole back there, but the ball is just overthrown.
And they went right at Ray Mickens.
What you should do, put a new man in there, go after him.
Jones came over to help on the double, but he was trying to beat Mickens. Now Bledsoe to the sideline, and he is able to complete to Glenn. Glenn took the hit. Terry Glenn hit by Aaron Glenn, who's right back on the field.
Yeah, and the crowd reacted because they thought it might have been a hit out of bounds. Terry Glenn was dropping both feet inbounds, and Aaron Glenn has got to make sure he's out of bounds.
Picked up 7. It'll be a 3rd down and 3. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. The Patriots 20 and the Jets 10. Patriots with a victory would clinch a playoff berth. Bledsoe, and he had the time, has a 1st down, connecting with Glenn. Stopped by Jones and Cascade. New England Patriots trying to make it 7 wins the last 8 games. Remember, they lost their first 2 games of the season, and they've come roaring back. They've won 9 of the last 11. They opened up with losses at Miami, at Buffalo, then won 3 straight before losing to the Redskins. A win today would put New England at 6-2 in the division and 9-3 in the conference, making them winners in virtually every conceivable tie-breaking situation. That's what Bill Parcells has tried. There's another deflection. That was a rejection by Bobby Hamilton.
And that's the 3rd, maybe the 4th time they have come out on 1st down and lined up in a spread formation. 4 wide receivers, or at least Coates being one of the wide receivers, but spread out and throwing the ball on 1st down. That last 3rd down conversion was very important. Remember that they're only ahead by 10 points. It's 20-10. The Jets had just scored, and they barely made the 1st down. Had they punted, Jets got a little more momentum going. It'd be a different ball game.
And they have been throwing the ball for the most part in this 3rd quarter. Curtis Martin has handled it only once on the ground. Again the throw, and again incomplete, intended for Coates.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Bill Parcells get in some people's face on the sideline very shortly here, because you get the feeling that there's a blown assignment right there by the actually, he didn't blow that. He saw the blitz. He just broke off to go get the blitzer. But there's a little bit of casual look to this offense right now that wasn't there in the 1st half.
And in the 3rd quarter, 13 plays offensively for the Patriots, 12 passes, only 1 rush. A 3rd and 10 at the 48-yard line. Bledsoe with the time, incomplete, intended for Vincent Brisby. Covered by Aaron Glenn.
And they came out with the 4 wide receivers again on 3rd down. Just overthrew. Bledsoe has now gotten that lively arm. Sometimes you get it in the 2nd half, you get that 2nd wind, that ball comes out really crisp. the weather is not a factor. It's a cool night. Obviously, it's like nighttime here, like an evening game.
In fact, it is nighttime.
So. Thank you. It got dark at exactly 4:45 as we were alerted. But now that ball is coming out, and the Jets are going to get a chance to get back in this ball game after their last drive all the way down for a touchdown.
This is the first punt of the day for Tom Cooper. Earlier, Adam Vinatieri in a fake field goal punted. Trebek on the return. Lunging catch by Trebek. 37-yard punt and a 7-yard return. 3:29 left in the third. It's the Patriots by 10. New England offensive coordinator Ray Perkins, the offense sputtering in the third quarter, though Ray has had a pretty good run the last couple of weeks after hearing all kinds of criticism in this area earlier in the season. They have certainly turned things around, the highest scoring team in the NFL, and Foley's pass incomplete.
That hit Harry Galbraith, and anytime you hit an ineligible receiver, whether he's expecting it or not, it's an illegal play.
And the flag thrown. The left guard, Harry Galbraith, could not get out of the way.
Illegal touch. Number 69, offense, behind the line, is over the play. Its penalty is a loss of down. Second down.
He said 69, but he meant 64. Harry Galbraith, the left guard.
Just a loss of down.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 19-yard line.
You can hear the crowd, and if they understand that they're in a football game now, that this game hasn't been totally controlled yet.
Crowd trying to get the Patriot defensive unit going. Foley couldn't find anyone, but saw the opening and slides for the first down. Oh, and has some words. Foley had the ball knocked out of his hands by Lawyer Malloy, and they had an exchange.
We won't call it a veteran move yet, but another mature move by a quarterback. He looks down the field, man coverage down the field, which means that everybody's running with somebody else and there's nobody underneath. Notice he carries that ball up. As soon as he passes that line of scrimmage, that ball should go under the arm, protected like a ball carrier.
And a first down at the 29-yard line. Just under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Off the roll. It is almost intercepted. Ted Johnson, Todd Collins in the area. The pass intended for Kyle Brady.
It's amazing. The inexperience sticks its ugly head up all the time. Just about the time you see good plays made. He turns back to throw back across the middle. And anytime you throw back across the middle, when you're out of the pocket, people start to flow in your direction. They fall underneath throws like that without even knowing what they're doing.
2nd and 10. Patriots 20 and the Jets 10. The stat line on Glenn Foley, a 7th-round draft pick out of Boston College back in 1994. And Foley incomplete. Keyshawn Johnson could not hang on as he took the hit from a very active Scooter Magruder, a name that we've been calling right throughout the game.
That's just because you like the sound of it.
No question.
But as you go to the left right here, I think that Keyshawn Johnson tries to make a one-hand catch when he really could go back with both hands. Actually came back to that huddle, looked like he was mad at Glenn Foley for not putting it out in front of him.
Scooter Magruder in his 7th year out of Kent State, played 3 years in the Canadian Football League, and he's been around Green Bay, Miami, San Francisco, played for you at Tampa Bay.
Right. 7 defensive backs.
3rd and 10. Foley with the long look, goes sideline, and it's intercepted. Ty Law following the blockers, touchdown. Well, Ty Law on a 38-yard return off the interception, and that could be the crusher for Glenn Foley and the Jets, who appear to be working their way back into it.
I think your call of that was exactly right. You said long look. and then the ball was thrown. Anytime you look in one direction for a long time, people are breaking on the ball. And that ball was thrown too far. Ball's in the air too long. Easy interception.
Adding the extra point. And with 2:24 to go in this third quarter, Patriots open up a 27-10 lead.
You see Ty Law, he's looking back at the quarterback. He sees the ball thrown, just comes underneath it. Now what Keyshawn Johnson did not do, and he's got to learn, he's got to feel that cornerback coming. He's got to go in there and battle for the ball. If nothing else, just create an incomplete pass. Throwing a little bit off his back foot as you get another look at that one. And anytime you throw off your back foot, you never get quite the same pace on the ball. The ball just hangs in the air a little bit longer.
Ty Law with his first interception of the season. He's been battling a knee sprain. Made his return last week in San Diego. He missed the earlier game against the Jets. There's Foley trying to ward off the blockers, but could not. A convoy leading Law into the end zone.
Led by Otis Smith, who was at one time a New York Jet. Rich looking up at the replay of this one because that happened all the way across the field, but this is what the Jets have been going through all season long.
The Jets at 1-12. They've lost 4 straight, 12 of their last 13. They're actually 3 losses away from becoming the 5th team to ever go 1-15 since the NFL adopted the 16-game schedule back in 1978. Here's Alex Van Dyke with the return. Battles his way across the 25-yard line. Again, it's Larry Wiggum involved on the tackle. Well, tonight, it is a race for... Well, Sam with Kirk Douglas, he'll do anything for money. Reading NBC tonight. And here's Foley throwing the middle and able to come up with the completion. Richie Anderson stopped by Dwayne Sabb.
Haven't heard much from Richie Anderson today, but he's a good receiver out of the backfield. Fits that mold that Bill Parcells said fullbacks have to fit, and that is be a blocker and a catcher. He's not as big as a lot of fullbacks, only about 225 pounds, though.
That's his second reception of the day. It's good for 7, so a second down and 3. The Jets from their 34-yard line with 1:40 to go in the third quarter. Patriots now lead 27-10. And here they come. Foley eluding the pressure by just firing one to the sideline. And a flag is down.
Willie Clay was coming with a safety blitz. Way too much pressure too fast. When you throw it away like that and the ball is just going nowhere, they're just going to call that every time, and Tom White caught it. Referee Tom White.
And Glenn Foley, once a big favorite in this area, is hearing the sarcastic chant from the crowd here in Foxborough. He is now part of the enemy.
There is no intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the pocket. Just an incomplete pass. Third down.
Now, to restate the rule, if the quarterback leaves the pocket is from tackle to tackle. Tackle to tackle. Just scratch that one. If the quarterback leaves the pocket, he can throw the ball anywhere. That's part of the protection of the quarterback. But, you know, we're getting back now after the officials corrected that one. But the crowd started with that sarcastic Foley. I can tell you from the sideline, that is one of the most irritating chants from the stands. It gets to the players. They don't like to hear that. It's a challenge to their pride in a way.
What an honest statement on your part. Usually people say they're not bothered by that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm usually not honest, but this is, you know, they broke both rules.
Oh, Bill Parcells is upset.
He doesn't like the fact that the call was changed, obviously feeling he wasn't out of the pocket. But that kind of argument won't get anything except get the players on the sideline fired up with it.
3rd and 3 from the 34 with 1.5 minutes left in the third quarter. And you can see all kinds of movement and the flags come flying.
This Slade jumped way ahead of the snap trying to anticipate it again.
Start. Number 76 offense moving prior to the snap. third down.
Well, that's the man that Bill Parcells loves from his days as a member of the Giants. Jumbo Elliott called on that false start.
And that's why Chris Slade moved early, although it looked like Slade was moving. Jumbo reacted. Slade did not cross the line of scrimmage. Penalty against the offense.
8 penalties on the Jets for 53 yards. Patriots hit with 6. Third down and 8. And Foley able to slip away. Patriots thought they had him down. The pass broken up. It was intended for Cravett, and Otis Smith, who has played very well for the second straight week, was able to bat it away.
The reason that's a good play is when you're chasing a guy like that, it's real easy with your left hand to grab the receiver as you try to bat it down with the right hand. That's a penalty. He doesn't let that happen. He just reaches in with his right hand. You see him in front there knocking the ball away. Clean play.
So the punting unit checks in. Brian Hansen back at his 15. And he will boot it to Dave Meggett. Meggett has had some problems today holding on to the ball. Not this time as he returns to the 39-yard line. A 45-yard punt and a 9-yard return. A minute 11 remaining in the third quarter. The Patriots with a 27-10 lead on the Jets. So Dave Meggett now just one away from Tim Brown. Of course, this is a duel that continues right throughout the season. Tim Brown will play tomorrow night. And that will be exchanged the rest of the way this season. Curtis Martin. It's a rare carry, only his second of this third quarter. Hugh Douglas got the raps on Martin. Picked up 6 on the play. It is a second down and 4 with less than a minute to go in the third.
It's got a familiar look to it, though. He accelerates through that line. You know, a lot of guys will get there and they're reading the block. They usually have a key. Say the left guard blocking the defensive tackle, and he breaks off of that block. But in doing so, a lot of runners will pause. They'll hesitate. They'll chop step. He doesn't do that. He is full speed, reading it on the move. That requires a lot of reflex.
Second down play. And again, Martin. Oh, he broke tackles, has a first down. Victor Green and Aaron Glenn combined to make the stop.
That is so pretty to see him break through the front line. There's one line of blocking that takes place between the offensive and defensive line. Then, of course, you get the linebackers that are scraping in behind. But he breaks through that front line so fast.
And again, Aaron Glenn is shaken up. Took a pop from Keith Byers earlier this third quarter, trying to make the tackle at the sideline. And on this tackle, he's hurting.
Sometimes the first hit creates the second discomfort. You're already in a little bit of pain, and you get that same spot hit one more time. See, right here, this is looks like his own man, Marvin Jones, looks like he falls on top of him, probably hit the tender spot there that he injured earlier.
Aaron Glenn and Victor Green combining on that stop. Victor Green, who had 17 total tackles last week against Houston, now has 13. We have 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Ray Mickens again back on the field, replacing Aaron Glenn.
You know, part of those tackles are by design. The safety making some of those tackles, he's involved in the force. He's up around the ball anyway.
So time has run out in the third. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Back in Foxborough, we move on to the fourth quarter. Marv Albert with Sam Weish. The New England Patriots with a 27-10 lead on the New York Jets. First and 10 at midfield for Bledsoe and the Patriots. And they are now going back to the ground. Curtis Martin stopped by Bobby Hamilton. Well, a game of interest to the New England Patriots. The Buffalo Bills playing Seattle. Let's check in. Here's Greg Gumbel.
And Marv, sweet music to the ears of the Patriots fans. Lamar Smith of the Seahawks takes the pitch, cuts back, 12-yard touchdown run with the extra point. Seattle expands its lead 26-11 over the Bills. Just under 8.5 to play in regulation, Marv.
Thank you, Greg. Coming into today, both New England and Buffalo at 9-4, but New England on top by virtue of tiebreakers, particularly the 8-up, 3-down record within the conference. Bledsoe trying to connect with Glenn, covered by Cascade.
And after he threw that ball, Bledsoe looked at his hand as if he picked up a spot of dirt or a wet spot on the ball right there. You know, in the NFL, on all outdoor games, there are 36 balls. They use half of them in the first half and another half in the second. Inside, how many balls do they have, Marv? How many do they have? It's not 36. How many? Time's up. They have 24 footballs that they ready for each game. 24 inside, 36 outside. Try to work that into the next conversation.
Fascinating information. Penalty flag is down. And the word on Aaron Glenn, we're told, bruised ribs, and he will not return.
Number 80, offense, moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, the call on the wide receiver, Troy Brown. It'll be a 3rd and 15. And there is Aaron Glenn. You can see the ribs have been wrapped.
There are a lot of things that can happen right there. You can just get hit. It's going to separate the ribs a little bit, the ligaments.
See the wincing.
Yeah.
He is in pain. 3rd down and 15. 4th quarter just getting underway. And Bledsoe able to connect for the 1st down, and Sean Jefferson went to his knees to make the catch. And receives kind of an uneven reaction from the crowd. He's had several drops here today.
And he's really had some big catches as well, but this one right here, watch his reaction after the catch. Now, Marcus Coleman slips down again, but after the catch, he just slams the ball down, not in celebration, but a little bit more in disgust, and he finally got one done.
16-yard pass play. He has caught 5 for 90. Patriots opened up by going to Jefferson the first 2 plays of the game. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Here's Martin off the pitch. And he's tackled back behind the line. Good move by Chad Cascade. Very quick to get to Martin.
The Patriots have used this strategy a lot today. Strategy in formation. They've spread the wide receivers and tight ends out. That time they brought Keith Byers in short motion. Actually, he was going forward. But they get at different times during the season, the officials are tighter on that call. Sometimes they let it go. Other times they will call if you're moving it all towards the line of scrimmage prior to the snap.
2nd down and 12 at the Jet 39. Bledsoe going short range and a short pickup. Myers with his 3rd catch of the day. Matt Brock made the stop. Keith Byers released by Miami. Not a happy departure from Jimmy Johnson, longtime member of the Philadelphia Eagles, played for Rich Kotite in Philly.
This is a guy that catches, blocks. He's a big man that can play in the backfield or tight end. Bledsoe read the blitz that time, went to man-to-man coverage. Byers from the crossing pattern.
3rd down. Bledsoe to the other side and incomplete. Terry Glenn. That would have been a very difficult catch.
He makes those catches, though. He's a natural receiver in my book. This is a guy that nothing is hard for him. He just reaches out most of the time, makes that kind of a catch. You know, when you're drilling in training camp and in practice, you practice catching the ball with your fingertips. You don't catch with your hands, or you never try not to let the ball get to your body. You catch with your fingertips, and you try to always catch the front end of the ball so the ball gets big in your hand as it arrives.
That's Wayne Corbett in punt formation. Back at the 10-yard line, Tom Tupa looking to angle it. Tom Tupa's had a terrific season. And once again, he just does put it inside the 5. They'll spot it at the 3-yard line. A 32-yard punt by Tupa, and a beauty. We'll be right back. Putting it out at the 3-yard line. This might be a NFL record. you recall a situation where a team has had two different punters putting the ball inside the 3-yard line. Remember the fake field goal by Adam Vinatieri early first quarter. He was able to put it out at the 3. So the Jets start out from deep in their territory. Adrian Morrell gets the call, picks up short yardage, met by Chad Eaton, the first-year player out of Washington State.
You know, I asked Bill Parcells about the keys to the game. Usually it's a throw-out kind of a question just to get the conversation started. And he mentioned field position being important. But the other thing was we've got to beat them with special teams. Well, field position and special teams are almost synonymous. That means the same thing. Yeah. And that's what's happened. Start of the ball game and again here in the fourth quarter.
Sam going for the icebreaker in these meetings with the coaches, huh? You throw one out at the start.
Yes.
All right, Brady with the reception. And hit down by Todd Collins. So that's the third catch for Kyle Brady. But the Jets are short of a first down by 3 yards.
Foley is going to be his own guy, and part of that, what I mean by that is he's going to be looking for the tight end more, I think, than the Jets have seen. And regardless of whether Kyle Brady's asking for the ball or not, it's just going to be his part of the game.
Third down and 3. And Foley's pass incomplete. Intended for the other tight end, Fred Baxter.
Safety blitz. They had Willie Clay coming full speed right at the snap of the ball. Young quarterback, good tactic is to come after him, make him make quick decisions.
And the pressure has been bothering Foley. Patriots going with the blitz in successful fashion. Brian Hansen now will punt from his end zone. Like Dave Meggett put on new gloves. He's muffed a couple. This time he chases it across the field, makes the catch. And he's across the 45 and taken down. 53-yard punt and an 8-yard return by Meggett.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. For hot and wow, call Domino's now.
Well, the scene here at Foxborough earlier this morning, you can see problems with the goalposts. Apparently twisted by those early morning chin-up exercises by Bill Parcells. Likes to work out early. And
let me just tell you, Bill, if you're listening on there, on those headsets there, I didn't say that. That was Marv.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line, and Curtis Martin gets the call. Met by Bobby Hamilton. 10.5 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots with a 27-10 lead on the Jets. Big play for New England, the interception by Ty Law, and he ran it in from 38 yards away just when it appeared that the Jets were making a run.
Well, that's what you have to have. The teams that are in the playoff run do that. They're not going to have an easy way in any football game. And as a team starts to make their moves, somebody's got to step up and stop it. What we're going to see right now with 10 minutes to go is a lot of the running game from the New England Patriots.
Second down and 4. And again to the ground with Martin. Short pickup. Curtis Martin earlier today went over the 1,000-yard mark for the second straight season. And the numbers on Martin, 19 carries, 85 yards, so headed for the century mark. Well, Adrian Morrell has been held in check. Only 12 carries, 30 yards.
Bill Parcells said he was voting for him for Pro Bowl. I think part of that is to give a little incentive to his team to stop a potential Pro Bowl type player.
3rd and 2. And Bledsoe has the first down. Terry Glenn on the catch in front of Ray Mickens.
And that was that easy catch that he didn't handle on the previous throw. But he just reaches out there so comfortably and looks the ball in, but catches the ball with his fingertips. Speed move. That's just a speed break, time throw. Pulls the ball in. Subtle little part of that was, if you watched his head followed the ball all the way into his hands and then almost under his arm before he looked up to see where he was running.
New England first down at the Jet 40-yard line. Martin goes for 2. Cascadden makes the stop.
And right now, the coaches on the sideline have probably already told Drew Bledsoe, try to use all of the 40-second clock. If you can use 5 or 6 seconds more per play, you'll eliminate maybe 2, possibly 3 plays in the ball game. That's 2 or 3 more exposures to potential injury. This time of, as the game closes down, everybody's a little bit more fatigued. There's always a little bit more danger of injury.
Second down and 8. We approach 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Bledsoe spreading it out, and now, not satisfied with what he saw, takes a timeout. Patriots 27 and the Jets 10. We'll be back in a moment. Yes, it's been a splendid season for the New England Patriots. They have been the hot team in this area. And this capacity crowd watching the Patriots with a 27-10 lead on the Jets. Byers broke a tackle and picks up the first down, able to cut his way inside the 25. Gary Jones and Victor Green combined to make the tackle. A reminder that following the game on most of these stations, it is Dateline Sunday, and then the must-see comedies of Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common, followed by the all-star comedy movie Greedy. That's tonight right here on NBC, and viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times. First down at the 24-yard line with 7.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Mario Greer in the backfield. A quick hit up the middle for Curtis Martin. What acceleration by Martin. Green and Jones on the tackle. Well, for more on the Seahawks and the Bills, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Marv, with Jim Kelly out of the game with an injury, Todd Collins has come on and hits this 22-yard touchdown pass to Chris Brantley. The Bills have recovered the onside kick, and with about 3 minutes to play, it's 26-18 Seattle in the fourth, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. It is a second, and they spot it with 1 yard to go, a little less than a yard, so Keith Byers was just short of the first down. The ball at the 15-yard line. And Mario Greer with his first carry of the day. Mario Greer, rookie from Tennessee, Chattanooga, a 6th-round draft pick. Backs up at both the running back and fullback positions. Came in earlier and attempted a pass into the end zone. So New England with a first down at the 11.
We're doing this predominantly on the ground. They're just grinding it out, using all of the 40 seconds. Possession passes when they throw it. Seeing what they can get done with some fresh backs.
And again, it is Greer, this time met by Green. Victor Green with yet another tackle.
A run blitz, anticipating the run. Strong safety Victor Green just shoots the gap, gets there really before the ball carrier can get back to the line of scrimmage, so the blocking up front really didn't count.
Victor Green in his 4th season out of Akron, coming up with his 15th tackle. He's a guy who made it back from a hip pointer, suffered in preseason, leads the Jets in tackles from the strong safety position.
Victor Green looks like he's bending over, like he's either very tired or got a little shaken up on that one. Staying in the game.
2nd and 11. To the ground, good hole for Greer. Would not go down. Mario Greer refusing to be taken down. Breaking tackles, and finally Ray Mickens made the stop.
Marvin Jones had a shot at him for just a short game. You see Marvin Jones right here, number 54, fighting through. Actually, I guess he really couldn't get it. He was shielded off from the tackle. Just good, tough running up the middle.
And he picks up the first down for the Patriots, a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. This is a drive that has carried over 6 minutes. New England changing its philosophy, throwing the ball throughout the 3rd quarter, but going to the ground here in the 4th. And the Patriots call for time with the play clock running down. 4:21 left in the fourth quarter. Patriots 27, Jets 10. Well, Sam, shameless self-promotion here on the part of our producer Kevin Smolden and director Jeff Simon. And the touchdown by Mario Greer. And that's what he earned for that previous run where he broke 3 tackles on the way to the 1. Mario Greer able to run it in.
Going to get that football, too. And you're a rookie from a good school, Chattanooga, but not a big school. When you score that touchdown, you want the football to take home. You don't know whether somebody can hug your neck.
And for Mario Greer, it is his first NFL touchdown. Now, Sam, do you go for the 2 points for symmetry and make it a 35-10 score? Keep in mind the Jets have lost their previous 2 games by the score of 35-10.
Only a long-time play-by-play man would think of such a thing. Prompted, of course, by Mr. Stats.
It is sad. 10 plays, 55, 22 seconds for the drive, and the Patriots with a 33-10 lead.
And the Jets jumped off sides. They actually can take the penalty and get half the distance and then try to run or on the kickoff.
Encroachment, number 93. Defense has penalty being enforced on the kickoff.
That is Mark Spindler called on the penalty.
And Mark looks like he's pleading his case. Sometimes that center will adjust the ball. He'll move his fingers around the ball, getting the right grip before he throws the pass. The long snap back to the holder, and Mark Spindler thought he was fixing to throw it back there and jump.
And the point after by Vinatieri. So the Patriots lead the Jets by the score of 34-10, an all too familiar score for the New York Jets in recent weeks. Well, a celebration by the crowd here in Foxborough with the clinching of a playoff berth just moments away. 4:19 to go in this fourth quarter, and the New England Patriots also getting into it.
Very excited. I tell you what, if I'm Bill Parcells, I'm looking and watching my flanks. There's a big canister of fluids back there, 5 gallons worth. And I'm guessing he's going to find him before this game's over with.
Here's the return by Reggie Cobb. Change of direction at the 15 and could not pull away. Bang tackled. So the New England Patriots on their way to making it a record of 10-4, 7 wins the last 8 games. And they have a chance for a first-round bye and a second-round home playoff game. A home playoff game for the first time in 18 years. On the other hand, for the Jets, it is a very obvious, bleak scenario. They are headed to the dubious distinction of becoming the first team since the 1985-86 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that was intended for Webster Slaughter, to earn 2 consecutive top picks in the draft on merit or lack of. And a record of 1-15 also is a prospect. They're 3 losses away, 2 following today, and they would become only the 5th team to ever go 1 up and 15 down. Reggie Cobb now in the backfield for the Jets, 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. Foley couldn't find anyone, and he is taken down by Chris Slade. Oh, he was hammered.
Jets are lining up with 5 wide receivers trying to throw the ball, nobody in the background. You see the records here, the worst records in the history of the NFL since the merger in 1970. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, that was when there was a 14-game schedule back in 1976. I was 11 at the time.
I was going to say this was prior to your coaching reign. That should be pointed out. 3rd down and 18. 4th sack of the day by the Patriots. Intended for Alex Van Dyke, covered by Lawyer Malloy and Jerome Henderson. That is a final. Seattle knocks off Buffalo. So the Buffalo Bills 9-5, and the Patriots will have a full game lead, and they'll have virtually every tiebreaker going. Ryan Hansen will punt from the end zone with 3:40 remaining.
Just a note here. This stadium is full, and there's a movement afoot, of course, to have another stadium built in the South Boston area. Will be the preference of Bob Kraft, the owner, who's made an effort to acquire some land or lease some land in the South Boston area, and then, without public financing, to build a stadium for the New England Patriots.
A good portion of this capacity crowd did remain. They have begun to file out here in the 4th quarter. It is another sellout here in Foxborough. And Scott Zolak will take over for Drew Bledsoe. Another very strong performance for Bledsoe. 24 for 42, 249 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Mario Greer, the ball carrier, stopped by Bobby Hamilton.
There you see, I just have to make a correction right here. There should be an apostrophe between the E and the R there.
You are correct.
It's V-R. It's a conjunction.
Very observant.
Contraction, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Conjunction. That would be me making a mistake.
Sam, I believe you have spent too much time here in the broadcast booth. I know it was an early call with the pregame show at noontime, and you had to hang for 6-7 hours. 2nd down and 11 at midfield. Just under 3 minutes remaining. Mario Greer with a short pickup, and again Victor Green on the tackle.
And the Patriots need just 1 first down. If they get the first down, they can just sit on the ball and finish this one off. The Seahawks Buffalo score was just put up on the board, and you hear the crowd react to that one. Buffalo losing to the Seahawks this afternoon.
And the players now celebrating. So the New England Patriots, not that there was any question the way things have been going, but nice to make it official, are officially in the playoffs. Mario Greer. And that leads us to the 2-minute warning. Patriots 34 and the Jets 10. We'll be back in a moment. Well, during the timeout, the security force hit the field. They are not taking any chances. They do not want to have a raucous scene of fans celebrating, so we'll see how that works out. Wayne Corbett lets the punt go. It carries to the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. It's a 47-yard punt with 1:49 remaining in this 4th quarter. They're getting ready. They're lining it up. Harry Carson started the tradition of dumping Gatorade on Bill Parcells some 10 years ago with the Giants. And you know, Sam, it's cold out there. This may not necessarily be pleasantly received.
See that look on his face right there? He's getting ready. he's pulling that cover, that Gore-Tex cover over, so that when he doesn't go right down into the old shorts area.
Yeah. And the Jets from their 20-yard line. Foley stepping up and able to complete. Wayne Corbett has a first down, met by Otis Smith. Next Sunday, the Patriots will play the Cowboys, and Dallas will be on hand for that one. They finish up with a Saturday afternoon game against the Giants at the Meadowlands on December the 21st. Catch made by Corbett, and a flag was thrown. Jerome Henderson with the tackle.
Patriots just lined up offsides that time. They're coming back getting set in a hurry in the 2-minute offense, and defensively they just lined up in the neutral zone.
We are down to 1:23 to go.
Offside.
Oh, there is
Defense.
the celebration
Lined up in the neutral zone.
on the New England
5-yard
sideline.
penalty. First down.
Looked like Larry Wiggum was leading the way. He has been an outstanding special teams player. Bill Parcells has remained dry to this point.
You know, it's not smart as a player. You got to be a young player to be standing next to the head coach in a moment like this, unaware of what is about to happen.
All right, Foley throwing the long ball, intended for Keyshawn Johnson, covered by Corwin Brown.
This is a tough spot right here. You can't just sit on the ball. You've got to make an attempt to move it down the field if you're a New York Jet. And same time, there it goes.
That's Johnny Parker, the strength coach of the New England Patriots. Are they about to spare the head coach?
Either innocent bystander or the sacrificial lamb. We don't know. One of the two.
Penalty marker is down.
Oh. He's had all the fun he can have tonight.
Minute 18 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's a 1st and 15, the call against the Jets. And Foley incomplete, and fortunate that was not intercepted. That was deflected. Either Eaton or Sullivan got a piece of it.
Actually, Glenn Foley's had another penalty on the field, but Glenn Foley's played well for his first time out. Didn't produce enough points, obviously, but he has done some good things out there today.
So the best records in the NFL, Denver 12-2 now. John Elway sat it out today. New England will go to 10-4. Pittsburgh with the win, 10-4. And Buffalo beaten by Seattle, 9 up and 5 down. 2nd and 15 with 1:14 left in the game. And Foley completing short range. Corbett. Ball down by Brewski.
Really, this is the best thing for them to do is get some real experience for Glenn Foley right here. Rather than throwing the hope shots down the field, complete the ball underneath, get a few passes completed, get the feel of the game. He's going to be the quarterback next week.
Foley incomplete, intended for Slaughter, covered by Malloy, and here comes another supply. Let's see who they are headed for. Parcells saying, don't do it. Don't you even think about it.
This is where you find out just how much weight he swings.
I would think that the players also aware of the health problems that Bill Parcells has been able to. I know he's feeling great these days, but this is a man who went through a heart ailment, and I don't think you want to fool around. But let's see.
Well, it's either that or they're worried about wind sprints tomorrow.
That's another point. Yes. 4th down and 2. As Foley fires it downfield, and Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson, stripped at the last instant by Corwin Brown.
Flag on the field.
Penalty marker is thrown. We're down to 40 seconds remaining. And here's the referee, Tom White.
Offside. Number 53. Defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Whatever. He's referring to Chris Slade, number 53, and it is a 1st down. 1st down for the Jets as you check out the late games. Carolina in front of San Francisco late in the 4th quarter.
Carolina, I tell you, they're not a true expansion team, but it's still remarkable. They put together such a fine football team in only year 2.
And a 1st down at the 44-yard line, an official timeout indicated. And that brings forth the boos.
You know, if Bill Parcells, nothing, I guess that was just a discussion, but if Bill Parcells is not drenched by the fluids from the sideline, it's really going to be impressive, because that was just a shaking of the head, a nod to his team.
Well, that was intended for Wayne Prevent, with Foley just airing it out, and again covered by Corwin Brown. We're down to 31 seconds remaining. Well, that's also part of the intimidation factor. They don't want to fool around with Bill Parcells.
There's no question about it. He's got this team in the right frame of mind. He's got them believing they're going to win every Sunday, and he's got them thinking that they're going to be not only the team with second home field advantage, but a chance to go a long way in the playoffs.
It has been just a terrific season for the Patriots. They lose their first 2 games. They come roaring back, while for the Jets, the nightmare continues. Alex Van Dyke with the reception, and the clock is running. We're down to 20 seconds to go. The numbers on Foley: 20 for 43, 202 yards. Standing ovation now for the New England Patriots with time running down. Foley with the long look is able to connect with Webster Slaughter, and that will wrap it. Ricky Reynolds on the stop, and the New England Patriots making a sweep of the Jets. They beat the Jets 34-10. They go to 10-4, 7 wins the last 8 games, and they have clinched a playoff berth. And for the first time in their history, they do it with 2 games remaining on the schedule. We'll be right back.